This is the Town of Lake Park, Florida Commission. Okay, this is the Town of Lake Park, Florida Commission Budget Workshop for Thursday, August 28, 2025. The time is now 5:40 p.m. Can we please have the clerk take the roll call?
Present. Present.
Thank you. Commissioner O'Rourke, Commissioner Thomas,
Present.
Vice Mayor Hensley,
Here.
Mayor Mashad.
Here, can we all please rise for the pledge? Okay, please be seated. Just for the record, let me know our town attorney will not be in tonight. He is actually ill, so just wanted to state that for the record. As you know, this is our second budget workshop for our FY 2026 budget. Just to let you know the order of how it's going to go. We're going to be looking over or asking questions, as well as talking about the proposed general fund, the proposed special revenue, as well as the proposed capital fund expenditures. After that, we will hear from the public if they have any public comments. As you know, public comments are 3 minutes and only 3 minutes, as we always do. And from that point on, any other comments, requests, and then we adjourn. Pretty simple and to the point. So with that, Ms. Barbara Gold, I will let you begin.
Good evening, Barbara Gould, Finance Director. Tonight we have we'll start with the general fund expenditures.
Okay. General fund we are beginning with.
Okay, so those are the funds that we'll be presenting tonight: general fund expenditures, public improvement fund, streets and roads, and special projects fund. In the general fund, we have many departments. So the first one is the town commission. This is your budget. And you see here, we've got the summary of personnel costs as well as operating costs. In the town commission, there is no new positions. And there is no COLA or merit included in your stipend at this time. There are increased costs for benefits, should any of you elect to take the benefits, specifically the health insurance. The dental and vision are coming in pretty much level funded, so there'll be no increase there. And of course, this is the first full year of FRS costs. Overall, personnel expenditures have increased 8% across the general fund in total. Your operating budget this year includes $25,000 in grant funding, and that we've removed the Haitian Flag Day and the Jet Set Soccer and moved those to the Recreation Department. So this is $25,000 in grants that you have access to issue. Additionally, there's $2,500 still remaining for block grant, the block party funding. $2,500 at $500 per party.
Correct, and then 500 for up to $500 for the lower end.
Mm-hmm, because it's reimbursable.
Yep.
Mr. Mayor, if I could real quickly, we might as well address the personnel expenditures now where we are.
Make sure your mic is on for me.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's not so much in your budget, but throughout the rest of the budget. What happened last year was the salary increases that were proposed in the budget were not in each cost center or each division. If you recall, they were in another part of the budget, in the general fund, the 900 fund, or general government. And then as people received their raise, that was transferred out of that cost center or division and then brought over into the department budget. So you'll see some fluctuation throughout the budget with regards to regular salaries or executive salaries. In this year's budget, what's proposed is a 1.5% cost of living or across the board on October 1st for everybody. As we mentioned in our last budget workshop, it's the same exact thing. So, and then it would be a 3% merit, which is included in the collective bargaining agreement that you've already previously approved. So that's all that we've budgeted. There are some one or two positions, a few positions that have increased a little bit more than because we're reworking or reorganizing some of the positions, particularly with the assistant town manager position. That one was also the HR director. That's being changed and being reorganized. So that salary will come down significantly, but we also need to make sure that we have an HR manager. So our proposal is in that position to bump it up a very slight amount up to a pay grade that provides that person with the ability to do a lot of the HR stuff that we were doing previously and that we need to do. But I can assure you throughout this budget, you may see that fluctuation, even some of it going down, because there are some areas where we had vacancies in positions. So when you see your actual, when you see the year-to-date activity, what that is that's the annualized number through September 30th. That's our projections on each of those lines on where we'll be by the end of the year. So when you see the percentages, the percentage is a total budget for 2026 divided by what the annualized amount is. So that way you have an understanding of where we think we'll be by the end of the year compared to what we're budgeting. So you have a more realistic understanding of where that increase. So for example, you might see an increase again in a personnel number, but that doesn't mean that they got more money than was expected. It's just it was in another area of the budget, and then it was brought over. And so going forward, in our budgets going forward, we're going to budget all salary increases directly in the cost center or the division where those folks reside, rather than as one big lump sum. So it's more transparent on how we're increasing or decreasing with our salaries.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
You're welcome.
Ms. Gould.
Okay, this is the town manager department, and this is one where you'll see an increase, a significant increase in personnel costs, but this is one of those repurposed positions where we're removing the assistant town manager, HR director out of the HR department and allocating the position into the town manager's department, along with the benefits and the training costs that go with that hire. There are additional expenditures we're including in the operating budget for employee appreciation, such as magnets or lapel pins. We're also including the gift cards that we normally issue at Thanksgiving to all the employees. And other costs remain stagnant. I think the only other, the biggest increase was in the travel and training, because there'll be 2 people attending some of the trainings, not just one.
So again, here you'll see that equivalent decrease when we get further and we get to the HR cost center. You'll see that a significant decrease. So it's just the in and out has moved from HR over to the
Basically, just
administration.
moving the line item.
That's
from
all
one-
we're doing is moving those costs.
Okay, gotcha. Correct, I gotcha.
Okay. Next department is human resources. And again,
Actually, before you go further,
Yes.
are there any questions
I was
for
gonna
this?
say, are you just gonna go through and do it, what's easier, for you to go through and do the review and then come back and us ask questions, or do you
Yeah.
want it to be done? What's easier for you? Oh, excuse me?
It's probably easier to get the questions as we're going along.
As we go along?
Yeah.
Okay.
So did you have questions for this one?
I think I did. I'm like looking through this. I had some questions around. Okay, and I think it was like in the town managers. Is this the town managers account? Yes. Heading?
Yeah, right now
Town
we do-
manager, yes, town. I think it was the town, yes, I think it was the town manager's account.
Okay. So general, we have no questions on general.
Well, not particularly. I think I have it more in the individual.
Okay, how about on this side over here? Commissioner Linden, do you have any,
I'm good.
Vice Mayor Hensley? No?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so now going to town manager budget, Commissioner Thomas.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
I mean, I had things highlighted, but I didn't put a little
You want me
sticky
to go ahead
down.
and start here while you?
Yes,
Okay,
please,
not a
thank
problem.
you.
Absolutely. Commissioner Linden?
I'm good at this point.
Okay. Vice Mayor?
Mr. Mayor,
Okay,
Yes, sir.
just real quickly, the position that is being transferred over, again, being reprogrammed,
Mhm.
the salary is significantly lower from where it was. So there's a savings from the position where it was.
And just for the record, the position you're referring to is,
The assistant town manager position. So there's a significant decrease in that budget, which, in the personnel side, which affects FICA, federal, all the, those, as well as workers' comp, and then the retirement side as well. So there's been a significant decrease just by bringing that
and
number down.
basically what you did was you repurposed what was the Human Resources Director's position, reclassified it now as the Assistant Town Manager's position, and changed the salary,
That's right.
basically. Okay.
That's right.
And then what Ms. Person, what was her title before?
Executive assistant, I think.
Executive Assistant is now the Human Resources Manager.
That's what's being proposed,
Okay,
yes.
okay. Commissioner Thomas.
with that being said, have you developed a new job description for this? And then how would it be met? Is that someone now that will be assuming that role, or would you be now then be going out to advertise for the position?
The plan is to advertise, but at this time, I have it on hold until we can see where we are budget-wise going forward. So there are a few positions like that right now that we're looking at because of where we are within our budget to, let's wait and kind of see and go forward from there.
Okay, so that individual whose position has been vacated and elevated, the HR director position, who will be assuming that role? And, currently, who's going to be assuming that role? And I would want to imagine, too, how is that individual currently being compensated? Because now we do not have an HR director, and I don't know who was trained with all of the requirements that our HR director needed, which I don't know what, maybe risk management, other HR personnel require, I don't know. So I'm just trying to wrap my head around it.
Well, there's not a license that you have to be the HR director. Right now, what we've done is we've elevated Ms. Person, the executive assistant position. Our proposal in this year's budget is to make that a personnel or HR manager. I don't feel at this time we need a director position. I think Ms. Person is perfectly capable of doing that, which allows us to promote and create succession planning, which also keeps our costs a little bit lower. And I think that we can operate in that respect. Ms. Person would then report directly to me within my office.
I really don't have an issue regarding the position itself. I think I have a concern about the duties, and do we have someone who actually is aware and familiar with HR proceedings and risk management and all of that's associated. So when we say transferring duties or having someone to share it, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are within, because from my memory, there were only 2 people in that department division.
That's right.
And so I don't know if there were any other cross-training among other departments that may be able to assume that, or if the person who was in the current department is capable of doing all that was there.
Well, she's absolutely capable of doing all the HR stuff, the risk management side and all of our liability side. I've asked our town clerk to assist with that, and so she's working with Gearing as well as the HR side to manage, to take over the risk management side and the liability side. A lot of that is, really reporting to our insurance carrier and keeping track and staying very organized with it. And I have complete faith in Vivian that she can do that. And we've already started that process to make sure, but we haven't been cross-training.
So then,
We're doing that now, though.
so then that means that Vivian is walking into a position that she hasn't been familiar with? I don't know.
Well, again, yeah, we're working the train.
Okay. So, my thoughts were regarding, the town manager's office is, I could understand the position being moved, but my thing is, do we have adequate staff that could assume that role that we, one, don't have to go out and pay consulting fees for? And knowing how small that department division was, it's just a concern on my part, right? And we had an executive assistant. If we're going to assume that role, I want to make sure that we also compensate that individual for that, because they were at a lower pay grade, and now we no longer have that individual, the department. So I would hope that we are compensating that individual now,
We are.
that we haven't waited for that.
No, we are. From the
Okay.
day that the previous person left,
Okay.
she's been, and then in this proposed budget, there's an opportunity to elevate in title as well,
Okay. The other thing that I was like,
which all is a savings to us overall throughout on the budget side, on the salary side.
okay. Town manager, and I was wondering about this. We do pay for National League of Cities, And the reason why I brought this up is because we had 2 proposed resolutions that had come across our desk regarding being a sister city of some international, And I don't know of us in our budget of any person, including our town manager, ever doing the National League of Cities. Is that something we pay subscriptions and all of that to them? But has any of us ever gone to like a conference where a international company like that would, or a place would want to reach out and say, here, I want to be your sister city? Because,
That was, yeah. I think
you know what
that
I'm
was-
saying?
I
So,
think that was more of, that was a little weird, the whole thing, and normally, we would have probably not even brought that before you, but I know you guys want us to bring those things. But on the international side, mainly it's more, we have folks that are more in the professional association. The ICMA conference for the managers is in Tampa this year, but even there, I'm not going. I don't know that we really do too much, out-of-state stuff. I don't believe that there's too much out-of-state, if there's any travel.
Not in a couple of years.
yeah.
So,
Not,
again,
I can honestly say we've never gone
Yeah,
to.
because
Yeah.
the National League
The
of
national,
Cities,
nope.
League of Cities.
yeah,
Nope.
in your budget, I think you guys are members of the National League. The town is
A
a National
member,
League of
right.
Cities member, which I
Member.
think is right to do because we stay involved and we hear about it. But I think Florida is so advanced in whether it's the League of Cities, FCCMA, or all the other associations that our staff attends or participates. You go to some of these national conferences, and I've been to an ICMA before, and I felt like I get a lot out of what we're doing in Florida. We're so advanced in a lot of what we're doing. We're setting the path in a lot of these national conferences. are doing a lot of what we're doing. So I don't know that there's a lot of absolute need to do that. Now with Tyler and other things like that, there might be a need so that we can do training and learn and of course talk to them about where there's deficiencies in their software and they change it. But we don't have that in either. And I've been in communities where we've done that, but generally it's not very often.
Okay, and then I think it was probably just a typo. We had here a Safe Street Summit that had February of 2027. We were talking about 2026,
That's a
right?
typo,
Right,
yes,
that
ma'am.
was a typo, and we're looking at it for next year, correct? Okay. And then there was something else that I was concerned about, and it was showing September. Okay, do travel amount and car allowance, is that all lump sum? Is that all like lumped together?
Do you want
So there's, sorry.
Like,
So if you're looking at a specific training, I'm looking at the town managers. Each conference would show a registration fee, a hotel, parking, mileage, and mileage may not exist if you're going to use a town vehicle. SunPass, and then per diem.
okay.
So we didn't break out the per diem by day just as a lump sum.
But only for conferences? But only for conference? Because like the manager's car allowance isn't part of the conference, right? We don't put that in there, right?
No, his car allowance is for local travel, so any out of the area travel he can.
And where would those funds be found at?
Well, looking in his, if you're looking at the Florida League of City Legislative Annual Conference in Orlando, he does have mileage budgeted for 124 miles.
But that's for the conference. But what about, doesn't he get an allowance? We don't pay our town manager a car allowance, monthly car allowance?
We do.
Okay. So where is those funds? Where is that?
Oh, that's in the personnel section.
Oh, okay. So
under special pay?
It's under special pay.
I was trying to understand what is special pay? Because, it didn't give any description.
There can be a couple of things in special pay. One
Right.
of them is longevity pay.
Okay.
So when an employee reaches a milestone, 5-year, 10-year, 15-year, 20-year, they receive a lump sum payment at their anniversary for their longevity. Additionally, another special pay is a telephone stipend. Instead of the town issuing cell phones to the department directors, we get a stipend to use our own telephone. The town manager's car allowance would also be in there. And then that pretty much covers everything that should be in special pay.
Okay, so under town manager, we have special pay for 10-8. That would include the not travel, that would include the car allowances and what you're like saying right now, right?
Correct.
Okay, but it could change depending on what department we're in.
Sure, some departments will have nothing. And others, if you've got a 20-year employee, you've got a $4,000 special pay coming up.
And just for the record, Commissioner O'Rourke is present for this meeting. And just to let you know, Commissioner, we've covered the general fund so far, and right now we're on the town manager budget for questions.
Yeah, because I think that's because I did have highlighted special pay, but when I went through and I was looking for the itemization of special pay, I didn't see a description. So I was just trying to figure out what is it, because we didn't have anything here.
On the salary and benefit cost page, this little,
Oh, the one that we can't read? Okay.
I can't make it any bigger. So for the town manager, the executive assistant position is a $3,000 longevity this year, and then the town manager's car allowance. So that makes up the 10-8.
You have a magnifying glass?
Got it.
Okay, you said, repeat what you just said.
Sure. The executive assistant to the town manager is
Executive assistant, okay, town manager.
eligible for a longevity of $3,000
Okay, thank you.
for fiscal year '26.
I feel you.
Do you see it in there?
this extra binder we got here.
Where's the extra line? Because I'm telling you, this book was put together for me. Okay, yeah, now tell me where she's talking about. She says this. Oh, the longevity,
Correct.
okay.
The
So
longevity,
let's see
the
here, do I
vehicle-
have,
The vehicle allowance,
okay, so this is what
the
she said.
longevity, the vehicle allowance, it's all right there.
Okay, so that's under longevity.
Correct.
It's all under special pay.
So longevity is special pay? How would we know that, Barbara? How would we know that? Because there isn't anything. We just see a line item that says special pay. And then I come here and I'm looking at personnel and I see longevity. I didn't know that I equated longevity with special pay because there wasn't a notation.
Got it? So I can change the heading, so you'll see longevity, but above it, special pay. So
Or maybe we could just do special pay and then just say, because we did itemize everything else, like in the spreadsheet, but things like that we didn't have itemized in a spreadsheet for understanding. Okay, so longevity can be special pay.
And cell phone allowance, so there's a number of things.
Who's receiving longevity right now in executive office? Would it be the executive assistant?
the executive assistant, yes.
Okay. And what is the proportion? What do they do? It's like 3%? How do we come up with longevity pay?
I don't know how we came up with it, but it's set at $500 for 5 years, $1,000 for 10, and it keeps going up.
$500 for 5 years.
$500 for 5 years,
Uh-huh.
$1,000 for 10 years,
$1,000 for 10 years.
$1,500
$1,500,
for 15 years.
15 years.
I believe it's
Okay.
all outlined in the personnel policies,
Correct.
in the personnel policy handbook.
Okay. It's just that when you see longevity and we see special pay, we don't know what it is. At least I didn't, right? And I'm looking at the calculation, I'm like, still doing that number in here, and it didn't add up. So I just wanted to know.
Okay.
Thank you.
You have
Moving-
any- You have any other questions?
That was that. Okay, then.
I'm sorry.
Oh, Barbara, we had I think in all of the itemized line items, when we have like town retirement matching, we have it zeroed out. So explain to me, I know we joined FRS, but I thought even with joining FRS, that the employer also contributes a 3%, I think, to it. So explain why, like through all of the departments, there was nothing there.
Sure. In our previous retirement plan, we had two lines, retirement and matching. So on the retirement line, that was strictly the town's contribution at 7.5% for people who had been here more than 6 months and they were full-time employees. If the employee chose to contribute to a 457 deferred compensation plan, we would then match that money up to 5% on the first 5% they put in. So it went by length of service. So for 6 months to 5 years, it was matched at 2.5%. From 6 years to 10 years, it went up to 3.75%. And anybody here over 10 years was matched at the full 5%. So that stopped on June 30. And with the FRS, the employee contributes 3%. That does not appear in here at all because that's coming from them. All you're seeing is the town's contribution in the retirement line. So that line will disappear in a few years.
Okay, because that wasn't necessarily clear, because I looked at it, and the town retirement matching made me think with FRS, that's the portion that the town would be contributing under FRS, because for others who are under FRS, we see that. We see our employer, what the contribution is, and then what the employee's contribution. So when I saw town retirement matching, nothing there, it made me concerned, well, what is it? Did we pay ahead? Because this year was our first year, and therefore, that amount was not showing for matching with our town, or what? So I just really wanted an explanation for that.
Okay.
So then I will ask now, if we had, all of the employees now are in the Florida retirement plan, and I think they have two. They either do the pension or they do the investment, right? So therefore, if an employee was hired by the town, they would have to participate in the FRS?
Correct, it's mandatory.
Okay. So then what you're saying now, where we have town retirement matching, that line item will move, and we won't have that any longer.
We won't fund that line any longer.
Right, because it's not based on how I have that interpreted, here.
So as far as all employees being included in FRS, you are allowed to exclude temporary positions. And we have a couple of temporary positions. We have summer camp counselors, and right now we have an IT intern. And so they are not part of FRS. But otherwise, regular full-time and regular part-time individuals are included.
Okay, and for clarity again, the retirement FRS is the town's contribution to it.
Correct.
Okay, so could that be worded maybe next time with town and paren? Because I know, I would imagine that on the employees' pay, it shows what their contribution is, right?
It shows an FRS line,
And their
employee, and employer.
But we don't see that end. The town does, town commissioners don't see that matching contribution. We only see what the town contributes, correct?
On your pay stub? Or just you?
Okay,
you won't
right now, we're seeing
You
general.
won't see the 3% at all.
Right, okay, because we are only seeing what the town contributes.
Correct.
Okay. And that is how it will show throughout.
Correct.
Okay, then that makes sense to me. Because, see, I look at it at both ways because we're part of FRS already. So on an employee side, and I get my statement, I see differently.
Yes.
So because I'm town now, I have to understand what that FRS actually means from the employer's point of view.
So we could rename it
You see what I mean?
we could rename it Retirement FRS Town.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. I'm sorry it took so long for me to explain that, but I'm glad you understand now. Okay,
Okay, we're good.
thank you.
Any other questions?
Included, okay. And I think that was, hold up, insufficient since HR, okay.
You have any other questions?
No, they answered that one. That was the
Okay.
insufficient fund because of the HR position being eliminated.
Commissioner O'Rourke, do you have any questions? Okay. Ms. Gold, you may move on.
All right, so we'll move on to the Human Resource Department. And again, we have a position, the HR director / assistant town manager is being repurposed into an assistant town manager, and that position has been moved out of HR and into the town manager's department. So you do see, it looks like a false number in salaries because it's down so much, but it's because the position was removed. There is money funded for the HR manager position. So that is fully funded in there and related training.
That's pretty much the only change.
In personnel, that's really the only change. In the operating section,
Yeah.
we've changed the way we look for employees. Instead of advertising nonstop in the Palm Beach Post, we've moved to an online platform, and they are originally we're going to give us our first year free. There's going to be a setup cost that we will need to go back and add to this budget because that There's a new piece of information. No? They changed it again?
Yeah.
Okay.
And just so we let the public know, and prior to our change, how much were we spending on advertising?
More than $25,000 a year.
I will tell you that, you know, as you've heard me talk about before, this was a commission priority when I was hired.
Correct.
And a former commissioner who's sitting in the audience actually bent my ear about it one time, and I appreciated it. We, over a 4-year period, we probably spent about $170,000 just in advertising costs. This year to date, since I've been here, or January to date, I think we spent about $250. We've changed completely the way we look to find folks. We are using CareerSource. We're using universities. We've gone to job fairs. Like Barbara said, we're using NeoGov, which was a small cost for us to do that. The $250 was for a professional position, the finance director, to go out to the professional organization to try and attract, you know, a government finance person.
And I also understand you went through the League of Cities as well.
We go through the League of Cities, we go through FCCMA, we go through the local League of Cities. We're using every opportunity to use social media as well. We have a LinkedIn account now that we advertise all of our positions on. It is just the way we're doing HR is so different. In the past, we required an application to be hand delivered, an original. I can buy a house, online or through email, but I couldn't get a job here without, a hard copy application. So we've changed that. We've made it more accessible for people. In the past, we would open, close, and each one of those was a payment to the newspaper. And frankly, I don't know too many people that are using the newspaper to find jobs anymore. And so we just are reworking our entire hiring process to where now, where in the past we might get 1, maybe 2 applicants, candidates, and they may not even be qualified. Now we're getting 40, 50, 60 applicants every time, and we're not closing a position. We're opening until filled with a set date of first review. So by the first review, if someone comes in that's really, really qualified, we're still available to take that and consider them. So we are now, again, just changing, turning. And I've been an HR director for a number of years, so I've gone through it, I've dealt with it, I've made these changes, and that's why, I feel so confident in Debbie, because Debbie has really done such good work since I've got here. I feel very confident in how she's doing things. HR is now involved in all of our interviews. We're offering a conditional offer right away to where we have someone on the hook, rather than wait for a month or 2 months to wait for references and do all these types of things. No, we're telling people right away that, hey, we want you, and you're important. And so, again, just a completely different thing. And former commissioner, I know this is important to you, and I appreciated what you said to me, and it was important to many of y'all when I interviewed with y'all and after. And so this was one of our main priorities, and we're not done. We're still working on it. In fact, like Barbara said, we're bringing to you an option where everything can be done through the cloud and online, our application process. If I want a job in South Florida, all I have to do is put the type of job and the location, and the town of Lake Park, every time that we advertise, they'll get a notice that we have a job open or that specific job. The county uses it, I think, West Palm, the Gardens, almost all the cities use it, so it's become its own source of advertisement as well. And so what we were able to do is negotiate a 3-year contract. It's coming to you at your commission meeting, where we have no upfront cost, no payment for the first year. The first year subscription is free. The second year we would have some
Like the setup cost?
setup costs, but that gets us into fiscal year 2027, And then it allows us, again, to be more active, ask specific questions online, that we have an interest for each position, and then all of those electronic applications will go directly to a department head rather than it have to be all hard copies and what we've been doing. So again, just completely different in how we're doing things, and we're able to hire, you know, I think at a higher and a faster rate than what we've been able to do before.
Okay. Are you all set with this particular?
I am if you are.
Okay, do we have any questions on?
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead, Commissioner
But I think,
Thomas.
but this is something, though, that I saw all the way through the budget. We have copy costs, and then we have equipment costs, and then we have equipment lease. And it looks like it's copiers that are being like leased for each like department or section, right? Is there a way that we could look at having maybe 2 centralized copiers? Where, I mean, I'm only saying that because I deal with that at a level of in employment where I'm at, where you have a large copier that is multifaceted, they do a lot. Mm-hmm. The only way you could access that material would be if you put your code in, so it stays there and it holds it, right? But I'm like thinking to myself, we have so many copiers, just looking at the numbers, and I'm like, that could probably be condensed, and it could probably be a huge cost saving for us as I look at it, because I don't know, but I just kept looking at it over and over and over, and I'm like, okay, you know, another lease, $250, you know, a month, another one, that's another, you know, that kind of money adds up. I mean, you know, and I wanted like to know, is there a way that we could consolidate that, especially here in Town Hall? Maybe we can have one copier downstairs and one upstairs where everyone used the one copier or something like that. But it just seems to be rather expensive.
It is. The leases we have currently are set to expire, and we are looking at different options with smaller copiers, so they would be less expensive, restricting use to black and white copies instead of color copies to cut down on the copy cost. Centrally located, I can see some pluses and minuses. I've worked in places before where there was one central copier. I don't see why we can't really evaluate that as a possibility. You please do.
Hi, Paul McGinnis, Chief Information Technology Officer. Good evening, everyone. As Barbara did state, our copier leases are about to expire, and I have been researching cheaper alternatives. You have to also take into account that we have multiple locations, so you need to have one at Public Works, you need to have one at the marina, you need to have one at the library, at the rec building. So really the only thing you're talking about in essence would be Town Hall, you know, as far as consolidations. So, and currently you're only looking at 4 to 5 devices in Town Hall. Now what we did was we removed all of the individual printers from offices because those are typically the most expensive devices to run. And by consolidating them into these MFPs, multifunction printers, we're able to reduce the printing costs to tenths of a penny for black and white copies. So what we're looking to do is make the devices a little bit smaller. Some of them can be reduced in size, which will reduce the cost, and also to require that everything gets printed in black and white unless there is an exception to that rule. So those printing costs will be diminished going forward.
Maybe I'm not using the right nomenclature. When I'm thinking of, I guess I'm thinking of printers, because I think I've gone and just about everyone who was sitting at a desk had a printer or a copier, you know what I mean? So No, it's not that.
We do not have individual printers on desks. And the reason we got rid of them was so we could centralize. And a lot of those devices are not just used for printing. We do an awful lot of scanning. All of the departments scan their documents so that we can transfer them to Laserfiche. So these devices are being used fairly heavily in all departments, not just for printing, but for other purposes
So
as
we
well.
have a centralized printer copier? No?
Not just one, but we don't have individual printers in individual offices. So
Okay.
we have centralized devices for a department
Okay, so,
or a group of departments.
okay, so, for example, the one that's in the clerk's office can then be used by everyone that's upstairs? Or they have one, everyone? No?
It could be. We have one in the clerk's office and we have one in the HR office that are shared amongst all the folks on the top floor.
And they're multi-serviced? I mean, like multi-featured?
Yes, yeah, we scan on them all the time. We use it for copies and for printing when necessary.
Okay.
So,
And we have two of those up here?
two upstairs.
Two upstairs, and then how many do we have downstairs?
So we got one in finance, one in community development, and one here in this area back here. So the community development one, again, is used heavily.
I could see
because
that.
Yeah, finance is used heavily, and yeah, for certain things. And a lot of it is scanning. So if you think about the scanning, we don't get charged to scan documents. We pay the
charged
base
to print.
monthly. Yeah, we charge per the print. So if we can keep the printing to a minimum and keep it to black and white 95% of the time, we'll see those costs being reduced further as we go forward.
So then the lease price has been broken down by department, is that what I'm like seeing? The lease for what we're paying for these equipment is based on like their department?
So the copier that's located in the clerk's office is charged to the clerk.
Okay.
The copier that's located upstairs where the HR office is, they have that in their budget. So there is nothing in the town manager's budget. There's nothing in the IT budget for a copier.
Okay.
The copier in community development is budgeted there, as well as the one in finance is budgeted in finance.
Okay.
And
Because
then-
I was thinking that it was more than that, just by the number of copiers that I kept looking at.
Oh, because you're going to see the copy lease, and you're going to see the copy copies, so there's two accounts to separate them out. So then you're, times two. Yeah.
And just one more thing, that lease includes they supply the toner, they supply the support maintenance. If the device breaks, they come out to fix it. So it is a complete service and maintenance agreement. So we're not paying anything extra for toner or for repairs, et cetera.
Is this whole building on the intranet where if I'm down here in this part of the building, I can access any of the printers upstairs?
Yes, absolutely. Anyone can print to any of the devices, correct?
Okay, and that includes I wasn't gonna say branches, but like Public Works and,
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. If necessary, yes, they could print over here.
okay.
Yeah.
Vice Mayor? Oh, I answered it?
Because, I mean, from,
This is scary right now.
I can ask that same question because I know in my other occupation that I can go to
Correct.
Commissioner Thomas'
Yeah.
spot and print, so I was.
And the
that's-
same at my office, we're all under the same intranet, so we have the ability to go into multiple departments to print.
Yes.
And we also have departments that have big plotters, and believe it or not, they very much do look at how much you print, because each paper is money that you're paying.
Yes.
And the reams, we used to get a lot of reams, and now our reams are very minimal, so.
Yep.
Mr. Mayor,
I understand
one of the
completely.
a couple of the things that I'd like us to look at, and I know Paul, is being able to have, different codes so that we can start showing those copier lease, prorating them to the departments, but also, like Paul said, requiring everything to go black and white so that we're not printing in color on everything, and then also doing double-sided. So those are the things that we are working towards, and hopefully we can bring down some of our numbers when we are looking at some of these procurement numbers that are out there.
Okay.
So
Vice
it's a
Mayor?
priority.
I have a question for the town manager. So you guys don't have codes when you put your badge, or swipe your badge
Not
for
at
the
this
copy?
time.
Oh, okay.
but that's something that I'd like us to be able to see. So we're seeing who's printing what, not what they're printing, but how many of what
Yeah.
they're printing, so that that division or department or cost center is charged for that. So right now, like Barbara was saying, everything is charged out of HR for the manager's office when we print over there. It should be printed, it should be charged.
So the
to
code, the codes would reference
That's
what
right.
department is printing.
That's right. And of course, the codes, if there's safety issues, you can hit a code and, and make sure that if a personnel record is being printed, it won't be just sitting there. It'll be print when you get there kind of thing.
Oh, we
So
know.
we're looking at that as, we need to look at all of that.
We know about that. That's how we're set up.
That's the reason for the
Yeah.
questioning. That was the reason for
We
the
ha-
questioning, me
put
just
a code in.
programming how it is that we operate every day. And we can go anywhere, pretty much in the district, and we can go just about anywhere in the district, whatever school, and just put it in,
So
and it prints.
now I understand what my other half is
Yes,
putting
yes.
that card in. She's,
Doesn't matter where, it's just interconnected. So when you stated, Mr. McGinnis, it would be necessary to have it, in our community, we may have 4, as large as that population is, which is 1,200 plus that. But no matter where we are, we swipe our badge and it just prints for us. So I was trying to figure out, because you're much smaller than us, how could it be even a little bit more efficient or economical for it? So that was the purpose of the question.
And I got a quick way how we can save a lot of money on printing.
I'll make it all electronic next
and
year if
white.
that's the direction.
And if you look at it, this, one of the reasons why we changed the budget process, because we would give you a whole new budget book every time too. And so that was a real concern for us. I mean, we were spending so much even just on these tabs.
Yeah.
It was
It's a
crazy, the amounts that we were paying. And so we're looking at changing all of it. And to go electronic would be great.
It
So-
really would be. I mean, because at the end of the day, I don't even know what to do with all this paper. It's
Well,
sad.
you'll leave it when you're finished with it.
Yeah.
That's
and then
true.
It will
Yeah.
get recycled.
yeah, we've given it back in the past.
I know that, but look how many trees they had to cut down.
Well, if it's
And
something
we're
that's,
conservatives right here, conservationists. That's what let me put that. Conservationists.
okay.
Yes, I did.
Any other questions? Commissioner Linden, any?
Yeah, Barbara, I got a, I'm sorry. Silly question, but under HR, state of Florida, $8.
We'll be going to Tallahassee soon, so,
Yeah,
That's our phone cost.
It is our phone
our
cost.
phone costs.
Our phone costs, for the expected phone costs, broken out by each department. That's what the HR would be charged for a phone cost over the course of a year, because the state makes it affordable for municipalities to have phone service. So,
So the more phones a department has, the larger the cost. And then if you have a fax machine, there's an additional cost there for a fax line. So
which I can tell you, even with fax machines, we're going to look at, can we go to something electronic? Can we be doing things electronically so we don't even have the line or the machine any longer?
Do they fax?
Peop-
Who does that? They scan, and it's a fax. I mean, who does that?
Yeah.
I
So-
can't even.
So we can get an e-fax account for a couple bucks and we can share it and do those kinds of things where we need to fax, but yeah.
Thank you, Barbara.
welcome.
Commissioner Rourke, you have anything? Okay, you may proceed.
Okay, so now we'll move forward to the town clerk.
Town clerk.
There are no changes in personnel in the town clerk's office, so it is just the merit and the COLA, the additional increases for insurance, and in this case, one of the employees there takes the opt-out, so it saves us some money on the insurance because they get a stipend of 40% of what the insurance cost is. Operating expenditures, we're including election costs this year, again. And we're also showing reduced legal advertising based upon what we see as actuals. So we've lowered the budget in that category. Specific questions?
Yes, I do.
Please.
Commissioner Thomas.
Because now that the town manager told me this, when I looked at the salary for our town clerk, I was a little disappointed. And now I'm even more disappointed because now we just gave her some more responsibilities by making her be part of, and I think you said this, the risk management. When are we going to start compensating? Because I know that insurance is a lot of work. So can we look at, like, doing some improvement here? Because to me, that's added work. We have now split that department and split the responsibilities, so I don't think that, not that I don't think it is not fair for this individual now to be having.
Well, the thought was that with the procurement person coming on, there was a reduction of work there that allowed this additional to kind of offset it. So that's where we were looking at, was taking away all of the procurement responsibilities and then helping with the other. But we can certainly.
Yeah, but we don't, that person is not online right now, and we.
So you're saying as a prorated basis until that
Yes,
procurement
well,
person comes in?
or if and when, but at this point in time, I'm not happy with the salary. As I looked at all of the salaries for all of the departments, I would say this year is probably the first year, and I will be honest, that I actually paid attention to this budget to the point where I really scrutinized it. And I'm not pleased at all based on the volume of documents that our clerk has to maintain and be aware of. And I will say this, and it's just not because I've sat here, and I believe I say this all the time to our clerk. We have one of the most efficient clerks. And I have said this over and over and over, especially because when I do not dot my I before I walk out the door, it's like, come back here and get this done. But I personally just felt that when I looked across the board on salaries, I don't feel that this position in itself had adequate increase. And there have been some, too, that I thought was way overboard. But, person has the money and it is what it is. But I really personally feel, and that's just me, Commissioner Thomas, I feel that we need to give this individual a bump. And then I also feel that we need to do a prorated amount, too, because this individual is also taking on additional responsibilities. So that's where I'm at. That's me.
I would echo your sentiments on how this person conducts herself professionally. To the T.
Any other questions relating to town
I
clerk?
do. The other one is the Civic Plus code. And I think this was a discussion that happened back in '24 or even '23. We were looking at revising our code. And if my memory serves me correctly, there was a $50,000. No, it wasn't some money that was allocated for. Okay, I get the. Okay, so there was some money that was allocated for our code rewrite or review, and I believe we're behind. It was either a year or 2 years behind, and I just thought that I would see that. I believe that part of it was going to be for our land development regulations, or maybe just the whole entire code, and it was supposed to be reviewed and then brought back to us to let us know what the total cost was.
I think what you're referring to is when there was supposedly a number that was going to be allocated through the town attorney's budget for that purpose.
I don't think so.
Originally, there was money funded through ARPA for a town code rewrite. And we did the first step, which would have the legal review. And that was a little bit more than $10,000. At that point, there was discussion that the amount we were allocating was too high, that it was something we should do in-house. It should be a lower amount. And so we have started in-house. So one of the first things we were looking at is our procurement policy.
Okay.
Obviously, there'll be things that we will need the attorney to do. But there is nothing budgeted for code rewrite
And Vivian
in
can talk.
consulting costs.
Yeah, because I thought, because that name Civic Plus really like sparked something in me when I saw that. Thank you.
Vivian can speak more to it, but we had, and I think we've provided it, we can provide it again, but we had Civic Plus go in and do a legal review. And so, Vivian, do you want to?
Yes, and that legal review was shared with the commission. It was probably been 2 years now. It was it was between $11,000 and $12,000 that we paid for their legal review. They did the entire code, including the land development regulation section, subpart B. So we have a full, comprehensive legal review of our code with suggestions on what needs to be changed. And so my office has now spearheaded that project internally with departments where we are reviewing each section of our code. We've started with the procurement policy, and we are also working on other aspects as each department is bringing forward the regulations that need to be changed on a more immediate basis. You will see more ordinances coming forward as they're moving those components forward. So at no point are you going to be reviewing the entire code and us dumping on you, hey, here's everything that we're changing all at one time. We're doing it slowly, piece by piece, because the process is so labor intensive, yes.
And so what Vivian had done and is doing is she's bringing in the departments that are related to the issue, and the attorney is involved in those discussions. So for procurement, we have pretty much all of our departments, but for another issue, it might only be one or two departments. And so like Vivian's saying, it not only will be recommended by the departments, but the attorney will have been involved in the discussion as well before it even gets to you.
And Brett does attend those meetings with us, Brett Lashley, Attorney Brett Lashley. So he does attend those virtual meetings with us where we share the documents online. We're making changes as we're going. Staff is reviewing. We're making, the revisions that are necessary, and we're moving that process forward. It is going to be a very long process.
Yeah, I think we had spoken about the legal review, and I think there was a part 2 to it, which was the rewrite, right? Okay, so who is the agency then after the departments look at it and review it and do their strike-throughs? Who is then responsible for codifying it? Is that through Civic Plus? Do we send that to MuniCode? Who do we?
I'm sorry, go ahead. So we bring it to the commission, we adopt the ordinances on second reading, and then we provide those to MuniCode to codify, and you will see every once in a while we send out a supplement with those specific ordinance changes.
That will be there, right?
Correct.
Then, okay. So then, what is Civic Plus then? What is
That's the company
that?
that handles multiple facets. So they've bought over MuniCode.
Oh, okay.
So you will see Civic Plus, but it's for multiple different.
So it's sort of like our MuniCode. It is.
Is it the parent company of
So,
MuniCode?
correct. So
Okay.
Civic Plus has purchased MuniCode, so
Okay.
you will still see those two names. It's all under one umbrella. They still do.
Yeah.
They have lots of different. That our agenda management system is through them, right? So we use a lot of different modules that they offer.
Which then, because now that opens up a segue for me. I was online trying to find some information, and where do we go, or where would the public go if they were looking for ordinances that related to 2021? Because right now it stops at 2022 when we go online. Yeah, it doesn't go beyond that, especially like agenda items. So there has to, I'm just telling you what happened. it didn't go any further. But that's so I wanted like to know, do we have all of that electronically provided to them and they have it and they,
So the town pays to have our ordinances codified and uploaded to the system immediately.
okay, including our agenda items and,
And
'Cause-
so you may be speaking of a different component of our agenda management system in which only a certain amount of videos are handled or maintained because of the amount of space and what we would need to pay in order to have it remain on their system for an endless amount of time. So we utilize the components for the agenda itself and the agenda packet and the meeting minutes to be ongoing from when we first started using the system in 2021.
yeah, so that's
That may be
probably,
when
that's
you're
probably
fine-
what it is
right.
because, yes, so because they have it at 2022, the 20, anyway.
Correct, and that may be when we started. Prior to that, it's still available on our current website if you wanted to look for something prior to 2021.
You would have to go to another platform.
It's on our, right, it's on the same page as our website
Okay.
for the different pieces. But, and that dates back to 2003, I believe.
Okay, and then the last question is I think it was constant whatever, constant
Constant
contact?
contact.
Okay, yeah, so are they who are they?
That is more of a Merrill question.
It's basically
Okay.
allows us to do newsletters.
Yeah.
It's a software that allows us to send out newsletters electronically.
Because I know
like-
that I've seen, like, at the bottom of a lot of websites, you see, monitored or whatever by such and such.
Hi, Meryl Angstreich, grant writer, Chief Public Information Officer. There are actually certain laws that prevent you from using your own email to send out mass mailings. So we use Constant Contact to send out things like our newsletter and other informative things to, larger audiences in the thousands and things like that. So yes, we can build our newsletter on it, but then it's the platform that allows us to send out mass mailings.
Okay.
And Meryl, it allows us to check open rates and
Yes,
have-
we could monitor the number of, how many we sent it to, what percentage of those bounce back because they're a dead email address, and the number of opens.
Okay, so, but it's not under clerk. Clerk doesn't utilize that in any way.
No, I do.
Okay, so that's not part, okay, because I'm just saying, I kept seeing all of this stuff. Okay, go. I'm done.
All set?
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions?
Good.
Vice Mayor?
Central copier.
I don't have a question, but I do have a comment. It was good to know, like Commissioner Thomas said about the special pay. That actually was kind of, because I was a little confused going down the line, but now that you mentioned special pay, probably in the future, would it stay like that, special pay for like telephone stipends and all that stuff in the future, you think? Like, would it be a line item, like special pay would be the line item name?
It could
We
be
can
made
add
a
it-
line
We can add a
item.
justification sheet going forward so that you can see. I think it's been special pay,
For as long as I've been
Special
here.
pay
No,
as long as-
been that way, so we
But,
can always
yeah,
change it.
I'm asking, would it stay that way?
We can change it.
No, I like it that way, but
Oh,
it's good
okay.
to know, if we didn't
Oh,
know,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, no, yeah.
And- And we can certainly do a justification sheet for that line if we want to in the future.
No, and I like it, but as probably Commissioner Commissioner Thomas just said, now, we're kind of new, so then I'm not knowing,
Yeah.
didn't know that, okay, thank you.
I asked the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions on this side? No.
Now we're on to legal.
She's going to legal. She was on clerk.
So, sure.
Okay. So this, of course, is for our legal costs. You'll see that there's a large increase in the operating expenditures. What we did was we added $400,000 to that line should there be legal concerns coming forward. So we wanted to make sure that the funding was there, not have to do a budget transfer or do anything like that or an amendment. So we wanted to incorporate that in right up front in this year's budget.
Okay. Any
I
que-
did have a question on that. That was the thing. Is this for, my question was if this was for outside counsel, because I did have a question on that.
We're showing it as our current council, but it certainly could result in outside counsel.
Commissioner O'Rourke?
How does it turn into outside counsel?
How does it turn into outside counsel?
You said it's budgeted under our town attorney, but it could be outside counsel.
The attorney
How
may
does that work that way?
The attorney may recommend that there be a use of it outside, and then we would do a budget transfer rather than a budget amendment. And we can do that within the division or the cost center. So there would be a much simpler process in doing a full budget amendment to bring it in from reserves or another
So
location.
you re-itemize within the budget?
As long as it's within the cost center.
The process of, you've basically put over $400,000 into the legal fund, anticipating a lawsuit. Is that correct?
I don't know if it's anticipating, but it's if we haven't received an official notice of default, but if that does happen, then the funding would be there.
And if that were to happen where the town would claim a default against a developer with $450,000, if that's the number, for over 400, would that be enough for a lawsuit of that magnitude?
I'm sorry, sir, I don't know the answer to that, but we wanted to have,
So where did the number come from?
it came from, I believe we were talking about just a number that we could put in to have available. I don't think that there was any calculation, because again, we don't even know if we're going to use it. If there's not a notice of default and a litigation issue, then we wouldn't even use the dollars. So if it's more, we would have to come back to you. So it's like anything else that's unknown on the litigation side. We wanted to have some funding in there so you had some opportunity to move forward.
And where did the funds come from?
Reserves. Well, in this case, actually, no, I take it back. This funding would have come, what we did was we funded these dollars, I believe, from the 1.2 million that we were expecting from the reverter clauses. Now, if there's a default and they don't go forward with the 1.2, then our recommendation at that point would be then to transfer dollars in from our reserves to cover these dollars. So right now, it's using the 1.2 million that we're expecting to receive from the comprehensive agreement.
The 1.2 that was supposed to come about on the meeting of September 16th? Was that what we're talking about?
That meeting, but just for the record.
That meeting was canceled.
That meeting was, the commission voted to postpone it. Just so everyone's aware, we were notified on Tuesday that meeting on the 16th was actually postponed as well to the end of the month. Doesn't matter, but yes, to your point, yes.
Okay, and that's just, even if it ends up in the end of the month, we're not going to be on that agenda, correct? Okay, so, and then if we were to get on the agenda again, it would be sometime in December, right?
That's correct.
And we don't know if that's going to happen, correct?
That's correct.
So you're taking money from the $1.2 million that's not really there. Is that correct?
Well, we don't want to assume that we're not getting it either. So that's why we funded it with the intent and the knowledge to speak about during this meeting that if we do not get it, we're prepared to remove the 1.2 that we would receive from the developer and replace it with reserve dollars.
Okay.
So it would be the same amount either way.
So this is a concern of mine. The legal department is a concern of mine in this town. The town attorney is the one that has been advising you as to the prospect of a lawsuit, and that's been put into his budget because of that, correct?
Right. That would be the appropriate financial, or the location for the financials.
And if that were to be that, I'm going to call it a lawsuit, I don't know what it's going to be.
Yeah.
But that expense, that would go through our town attorney's budget line, correct?
That's correct, sir.
Okay, and that's an increase of $400,000.
We can, rather than, putting it in that line where the town, we can always create another line. We just wanted to we already had the line available. We don't know, who's going, if there is a default that's claimed against us, we don't know who is exactly going to be defending us. So we thought easily that it would make sense to put it in that line, but we can always create another line, or we could put it in a different area of our
I'm
budget.
I'm not challenging this item number because of it going under legal. It should go under legal. My question is, we have a town manager. Excuse me, I'm sorry. We do have a town manager, but we also have a town attorney who's basically the one that's directed us and steered us toward the possibility of a lawsuit. Would you agree with that?
Well, I think following the notice of potential default by the vendor or by the developer, I think it would be correct, because we've received a letter that we might be in default, and so now we might have to respond, and we might have to defend ourselves to that letter, because they may change it from just a notice of potential default to an actual default.
And I know I'm asking you like hypothetical questions, but that's what this line is. It's all hypothetical, right?
In a lot of ways, a budget is that.
Well, no question about that. You seem to be changing numbers all over the place, so, and which is what happens in a budget. I understand. I've done this for 12 years now, so. So this item is not in stone, correct?
No.
Okay.
No. In fact, a lot of the numbers are, even your personnel numbers, you may have, $100,000 budgeted for 3 positions. You might only fill 2 for most of the year, and you're not spending the full 100,000. So that happens all throughout a budget. Again, these numbers were started to be developed in February and March of this past year, and we're projecting and predicting what it's going to be like. Gas numbers are going to be like in June of next year. We may over budget. We may be significantly under budget, but that's a budget altogether. It's never 100%.
Before I hand over to you, Thomas, just to understand, this line item for $400,000, although hypothetical, this is just precautionary to the letter that we received from the developer. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I maybe not use the word precautionary, but I guess it's.
And I'm not saying precautionary, but
in
the event of.
Yes, sir. If there's a need,
if that's
or
a better way to
yes,
put
sir.
it, in the event of, if any further actions are taken,
Yeah,
we have something there in preparation.
that's exactly. And it's really no different than when you guys did, like with the PADD last year. You budgeted, the 50,000. You didn't know for sure you were going to do. You planned to do it. You did it in November. We ended up spending it or starting it in February and March. Same kind of thing. you plan to do it, you hope to do it, and the funding needs to be there to be able to do it.
Okay. Commissioner Thomas?
Can I just finish up one item?
Oh,
Thank
I
you.
didn't know if you were done
That's
or not.
okay.
My apologies.
I just wanted to point out to the fellow commissioners that the level of growth of the expenditure of our town attorney over the years. Going back to 22, the budget item was 130, 24, 193. I'm sorry, 23, 24, 193, then 24, 25, 222, which is, I don't understand the year-to-date, how that matches up, but
That's
always a number.
Where's that?
annualizing out of this year's number. So you have budgeted 227. The year-to-date activity is annualized out based on what we think we're going to be at the end of the year. So we think we're going to use that
entirety.
budget. If it were more, we would show that. If it were less, we would show it there.
and then finally into the total budget of 600, from 222 to 610. I just wanted to put that on the record. Thank you.
You're all set, right? I'm good. Okay, okay. Commissioner Thomas?
Yes, Town Manager, I actually had a question on that, and I was wondering, because while the project, the big white elephant is out there that we've sort of like talked around it, I was hoping that we wouldn't actually label it as that, and the reasons being is that there are a number of other legal matters that are out there, one being, of course, SB 180, and I think I was reading an article most recently about a class action suit that a lot of municipalities are sort of like, joining to figure out how that was going to be. And while I agree with us having some funds available for upcoming or pending legal concerns, I didn't want to put us out there with that particular project because I feel that we're going to need monies for legal fees, and thought just before all of this discussion that maybe we could have it as legal fees, and then should something occur, then you could come to us and ask us to maybe allocate it. And my thoughts were, because I was going to ask too, could we use contingency so that we are safe and not necessarily saying that we are propagating this issue, because it would just be legal fees for what would be forthcoming. So
Yeah.
that was my thought before we got into this discussion.
Just so you're aware, the town attorney is presenting, the class action lawsuit regarding 180
Okay.
at your next meeting. So
Okay.
that'll be on your next meeting.
I've been reading.
So that funding certainly can be moved down into other legal rather than just in the attorney's funding, because certainly this money can be used for anything legal, and that's one of the reasons why we wanted to put it in this cost center. And if it's easier, we can just bump it right down into
Or we can
other.
just rename
So
it.
that way it's,
Or
that
we
way
can
it's,
just rename it.
it's more of a general. And
Yeah,
so-
I felt that if it would be comfortable, we could just rename it, general legal fees, because there's a lot that's coming down the pipe, and we may want to be a part of that, and that way we wouldn't necessarily be discussing it before we were supposed to be discussing
The
it.
town attorney sometimes gets involved with regards to claims against the town.
Yeah.
So any of those kinds of things can be used for that. So absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
And I would agree with Commissioner Thomas's suggestion.
And not that I don't feel that we should be getting our money, but if we are able, after we go through this, and we could use contingency, then it's on us, right? And then we can go back for reimbursables and for whatever that costs.
that would be associated for whatever legal items would be there. That would be Commissioner Thomas speaking.
So when we're talking, are we talking about keeping it in this cost center, but just in a different line?
Yes, and renaming it, right, instead of us having it named that, right? And if we don't anticipate the 1.2, if we have it available in contingency, if we can do that, then Commissioner Thomas would say, move in that manner, and then we won't be discussing issues that didn't necessarily need to be discussed right now.
Yep. And that was the reason why, so exactly.
Commissioner O'Rourke.
Thank you, Mayor. Why do we have to rename it? Why don't we just shift it to other legal?
Just because it said Marina P3 project, and I'm just saying that it could be professional service legal.
I see, you're looking at that.
Yeah, because
No,
it,
I'm looking,
Yeah,
that's
but-
actually the line item.
Yeah, and this is the actual line item description, and so I wanted, and it's
Okay.
also noted
I
on.
see, that's what you were talking about.
Yeah, and that, yes, and it's actually noted on our project too, our presentation, so I just wanted to make sure that there was clarity in that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? How about on this side?
I'm good.
Vice Mayor? You may proceed.
Next is communication and grants. Static funding, same increases. The item that's budgeted here of interest is a new website. So we're budgeting $34,958 toward a new website. $34,950 for a website to be designed.
I can ask questions now?
Please do.
Okay. This is our public officer of information? Is this?
Yes.
Ms. Merrill, come on down.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm thinking that it was probably about a year ago when we all met in the commission chambers here, and we talked about things that we wanted, didn't want as part of the rebuilding of the website,
Correct, the communications forum, yes.
right? When we had that? It's
Yes.
probably been a year, right?
Yeah.
Probably about that?
Give or take, probably.
Yeah, about that? Okay. I didn't know where it was going to, but at our last Florida League of Conference that we went to, there's this company that what I think was called GoGov, or I don't know if we've heard of them, GoGov. But they have done such a phenomenal job of building not only the website, but also the QR code that when you hit it, it just populates on your phone and it gives you, everything that's very user-friendly, even on a phone, and sometimes that's a little complicated. But with this new website software, is that because we've already gotten one?
No.
Or is we're looking at this as being a possible amount that we can go out for bid for?
So we would go out to bid, theoretically. We spoke with, going back to Civic Plus and all the things that they do, many of the local and even larger scale area municipalities utilize Civic Plus for their websites. So we had conversations with them, so we had a jumping off point. And we like what they had to offer. We can piggyback on other municipalities to make it happen. We would be able, and I know this will make you happy, to get rid of Code Red because they have their own emergency system that we could use, so it offered a lot of what we wanted. We are not bound in stone. We did not contract with anyone.
Good. Well, I shouldn't say good, but yes, it is good. Because I thought there's about 4 different communities that I know. I believe it was Boca Raton, West Side, is it Westlake? Westlake. I think Boynton, maybe using GoGov.
Okay.
And I believe if they're using it, they may have a government contract already where we could do a piggyback, you know?
Absolutely, I will look
But I
into that.
wanted like to find out and to make, you know, to ask you whether or not our concerns, and when I say our concerns, the residents' concern that we had for the communication forum would be included in, and if that's what we're looking at when we talked about the new software.
Well, this would address needs, but we wouldn't create the actual website itself until we had further discussions with the community. We would have public meetings in which community members would be invited to attend and tell us what they want, what they don't want, what they think is good or bad, or what's easier for them. So our intent when we do create a new website, regardless of whatever the provider is to make it user-friendly for our constituents.
But we would utilize some of that information already because we already had that form. So I'm imagining that it would be to move forward and at least do a draft or some type of a test site so that we can then, critique, right? No?
We can only do what with Granicus, who's our current provider, we can only do what we can. We have put some of that into play. We've made the videos more available. We've made certain things available on the front page that weren't before in response to that meeting.
Okay. Okay, that's what,
Well, I can tell you right now, I don't know if GoGov does websites. Just doing my little research.
okay. What did they do, just the link?
They offer, their core focus on providing robust software solutions for local governments, including citizen request management, code enforcement platforms, citizen notification tools, online permitting and licensing systems, and branded mobile app solutions for cities.
Okay. Well, they'll look in that. Go.
I actually, with Commissioner Thomas and Mayor and Mr. Commissioner Linden about the app. It was the app.
Yeah.
And what the app was, it was and I don't know if this website can also have an app. What was cool about this app was that a resident can download it and have direct communication.
Okay, thank you.
With what's going on and communicate with each other. Yeah, others. So I want to say it's like Nextdoor, but it's not like Nextdoor. But you can actually post information in it. That way they can always communicate. So just going a little bit about website, whatever web company software we use, I don't think we have to use GoGov, but see if can they get an app to go along with it. I don't know how that works.
We'll, as we move forward, if we move forward, well, that's definitely something we can ask about an add-on. I don't know what cost that would involve, but we would absolutely look into it.
Well, something you could even ask Civic Plus
Yes.
if they do.
Yeah. So like Code Red, you can send a message out what's going on. Now it's up to the residents to download the app, and you can send out messages right there, right in the app. They can go in the app and find out what's going on and get notifications if they want notifications.
Basically, I remember at one time I had asked you if we could use Code Red for that purpose.
And,
And we decided not to,
correct.
which in good reason.
Yes.
This might be the alternate solution as far as Civic Plus, if you progress with Civic Plus.
Absolutely. And I will also look into GoGov independently to see if it is something we want to.
There are a number of options like that do that. And, in Delray, we were using it, way back when, a software similar to that, where you can actually hone in and see how many homes are actually involved with different things. And, you incorporate some of your GIS data into it. So,
Right.
So there's a lot of different options out there to do.
Another I would recommend also that we're implementing here in our building here is Tyler, to see if maybe they have an external component that can be.
I will ask Paul about that.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll look at all the options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Commissioner Thomas?
yeah, maybe it was him, but there was something that I know that I was really concerned about, and I think it was the licensing. But I think maybe we'll do that when we get to information technology. It was something somewhere about how large that. So, Merrill, it wouldn't matter who designed the website, we would still be using Constant Common as the platform that it would?
Constant Contact. is-
Contact, not
It's a separate entity altogether. Yes, we would use that for our outgoing mass mailings. Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
And just for the record, Constant Contact's super affordable. I mean, it's for
Yeah.
for like 1,000, emails or something.
We
It's-
are actually up, and I'm very proud to say that we have increased. We're over 5,000 contacts now. We're getting new ones each month. And so it was one rate for up to like $49.99 and one rate for over 1,500, over 5,000, and it's something like $1,400 or $1,500
a year.
a year.
And you can put out as many notices as you want. So it's super affordable.
Okay. Sign? No?
Meryl, do you know about that website? I think it's called lakeparkflorida.net, because I think ours is
We're
.gov.
.gov. There are,
And it's almost like ours. I got tricked one day.
I will look into that. I know there's also a Marina Facebook page that's not ours. There was a LinkedIn that's not ours. As
And I
far
was
as
just wondering if we were using a .net
No.
before we moved to a .org.
we had discussed several years ago using a .net for a different purpose. It was thought about to be used for like marketing to businesses, and it was ultimately decided not to go in that direction because it would be too confusing. So the only one
They
that
have some
is,
stuff on there that looks rather authentic.
I will look into that because, like I said, several years ago when we discussed it, we made the decision not to use it.
Okay, thank you.
I can tell you, however, as far as like the LinkedIn and the other things that are ostensibly us that aren't, we met with the town attorney at the time. We discovered these, and he said there's really nothing we can do. We can ask them to stop. And with one, we tried, and nothing happened. But it's something we can try to revisit.
So
Okay.
it's Lake Park, Florida
.net.
.net,
Yeah.
spelled out Florida just like us.
Any other questions? Ms. Gold?
Thanks, Mayor.
Our next department is information technology. There's one position full-time funded in there, and the IT intern, who we all love because he's always there when we need him. Additionally, Paul was able to secure, and you approved, a cyber, State of Florida cyber grant, which allowed us to save 9 months in this fiscal year, 9 months worth of payment on many items that he purchases. So he was able to reduce his contractual services line.
The KDT under professional services for 10,000. What is that exactly?
KDT is a provider who will step in for Paul if he is not here. They also provide the Microsoft licensing, KDT.
And then also, hold on, let me find it. The Tyler licensing. Where are we at with that?
So we've been live with the finance module on Tyler for about a year. Yeah, so about a year and a half, between 1.5 and 2 years. We're currently working on the community development piece, and that is currently in implementation mode.
So 2 departments. How long have we been paying the Tyler?
We're coming up on our end of our 3rd year.
Okay. But finance is all a go.
Yes.
Community development
Yes.
is who's next.
Yep.
And does this cost here, because I know this is the lesser cost, this is more like the subscription cost, this $84,413.
Yes, sir.
Does that include also if any problems occur or any shutdowns happen where they would add a maintenance? Does this include any maintenance?
Yeah, that's the full maintenance and support. So if we have an issue, if especially with finance, because they're live in the system. So if they have any kind of issues that we can't resolve internally, we will open a ticket and get support to work us through those, whatever those issues might be.
And how about like for training for the departments? Because of course they're transitioning into Tyler.
Yeah.
Do they offer training with this cost?
So not as part of the subscription that we're paying, but that would be included under the implementation side of things. So we still have monies left on the implementation PO. That's not part of this budget because that was budgeted back in 2022, 23, I presume. So those funds have been rolling over year to year to continue with the implementation.
Okay. Okay, that's all I have, actually. Anybody else have any questions? No?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Just to follow up on that, I think, we've been working over the last few months, and I've asked Paul, and I appreciate where Paul's at with it now, and Nadia's really, done a great job with it as well, and her staff. So we've been a lot more aggressive in moving forward with that and trying to get the community development side on. That's a piece that really helps with, permitting and inspections and sending automatic emails out and different things like that. And we'll talk more about it when we get, to Nadia's budget. But we know that we need to get these implemented, and so we appreciate the commission's patience with it. So thank you, and the community.
No
so
problem.
thank you.
And I understand that transition because my office is Tyler,
and we've
there's a lot of process.
Yeah, we've reached out to the local governments in our area, City of West Palm Beach, City of North Palm Beach. They've implemented Tyler, and they've experienced the same kind of time as far as implementation goes, and the burden that it's has on staff to do their normal jobs and then to take on the additional responsibilities of implementing a system. So it is a lot of work, but we've gotten to a really good place with Tyler. I think the first few months of implementation for community development was a learning experience for us and for Tyler. We've come to an agreement as to the ways to move forward, and we're putting a plan in place to try to get this rolled out. We have set a target date of early next calendar year, so January, February of 2026, where we hope to have the rollout for community development completed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I can assure you, we'll continue to work on what their costs are to us.
Okay.
So that's important. So.
And all the data that you're going to implement, you're going to put into Tyler, that's not going to be cloud-based. That'll be internal, correct?
So Tyler is a cloud-based system. It's a
Correct.
software as a service. So the data that we're putting in will remain in the Tyler cloud. Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
So you're actually ahead of my office.
So how far back will our history go in?
So, we loaded, for finance, we loaded the prior fiscal year, I believe. And then for community development, we'll be doing some data integrations and data loads as we move closer to the implementation. We just need to identify how far back we need to go.
So we might go 5-10 years, and people might be able to search and see those permits?
Yes, we're going to plan to get as much data as possible into Tyler so that we can do those searches. Correct.
So we as an outsider, outside of here, obviously can search a permit and check the status, CO, and all.
Yeah, it's going to be really great for our residents because there will be a resident portal where they'll be able to submit their permits or the business tax requests, and they'll be able to see the progress of the permit and what status it's in. So it'll be really nice for our residents.
Well, the reason why I'm asking, I'm taking off my mayor's hat for a second, putting my property appraiser's hat for also a second, and just seeing if we can look up permits for us, because we're always looking at January 1st as what's the status of the home, if it's being built or anything alterations are made. So it'll be good if we're able to access your system to be able to check that.
Yep.
Yep. Any other questions?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Gold?
All right, so moving on, we have a new department, and we named it Marina P3 Project. We're using this department to capture costs that we incur here that are billable to the developer under the existing comprehensive agreement. So we're estimating a legal fee that it is probably too little, but we don't have enough information to figure out a better number. So we wanted to at least include something.
So what's happening here, as you may be aware, statute provides that any time that we have consultants or even our own staff costs related to the P3 project, the developer is required to reimburse the town or the municipality or the entity. So what we started to do earlier this year was starting to calculate all of those dollars that were related to the project when we're working with the developer, whatever it is. So now we're starting to define those, and we'll be requesting reimbursement for those. And that includes also our attorney fees related to the project.
Okay.
And that's in the comprehensive agreement as well, not just statute, but also in the comprehensive agreement.
So that's just a placeholder.
Correct.
Basically, yes.
But these are revenues, those are expected revenues, so.
Indeed, indeed.
So.
Any questions over here? No? Questions on this side? Ms. Gold?
Finance.
Familiar to you.
So in finance,
Perfect.
we're getting closer to filling some of the vacancies. And so again, if you look at the actual activity, it's significantly lower than budgeted simply because of those vacancies. There are no new positions. We've repurposed an accountant position into a procurement position. And at the point we move forward to fill that position, we'll take over the procurement piece from the town clerk's office. We're eliminating in our budget the partial renewal of our legacy software, the software we used before Tyler. In the beginning, we were frequently in there looking at history. Less so now as we go forward and more history gets in there. In actuality, Tyler brings over everything. But the prior 2 years are readily available in reports. The rest of it is this enormous data dump that you can go searching through looking for something. So we've maintained the legacy software to be able to pull old payroll information, lien search requests, and then looking for items in general ledger posting. We'll stop that when it expires in April.
Okay.
Contractual services, last meeting we brought the agenda request to you to eliminate the courier service and set up an alternative method for depositing checks that are paid through the mail or at the counter.
That's at PNC.
Yes.
PNC, correct. That's called on-site deposit.
Yes. Okay. This also is an area of concern for me, and that is our the salary for our finance director. We need to do something about that. As our finance director is lower than a number of other highly paid positions, and for the amount of work that I have seen Barbara do in just these last 3 months, working, I know at least 6 days, because it was a Saturday and it was late and she was handing me a book.
So she's done a tremendous job, but I feel that she can be better compensated. So I looked at it, and when I compare that to other department, I feel that she deserves a little bump, personally. That's me.
Commissioner Linden?
Barbara, nice work as always. I do have a question for you. You're short 3 people, and yet your department seems to run very efficient. If those positions were filled, are they needed or are they nice to have?
What you see, we look efficient, but there are many areas where we are behind. It takes longer to post certain things. But part of the reason why the audit was not finished in June was, again, because we were behind with missing positions in providing, in reviewing all the information to get it to the auditor. I will also toss some of the blame on to them as well. Their process seems a little long-winded, I guess I'll say. So in a discussion with the town manager, he was talking about perhaps not hiring some positions.
Yes.
So of my 2, the senior accountant and the assistant finance director, if I had to pick one, I would. But we will work better with both.
So
Okay, that was great, thank you. And again, you guys do a nice, efficient job.
Thank you.
No complaints. This question is going to be for the town manager. It's a broad question that covers all departments. We had a comprehensive study done in 2022 on salaries. And I voiced it at that point publicly, and I'll do it now. The study was bogus. All right? Is there plans this year to do another compensation study? Because while we're comparing one department against the other, who is underpaid, who's overpaid? You can't take money away, don't get me wrong. But I think a fair assessment of what the job description is worth versus our opinion. We all know how Barbara works. I mean, I'm sure you take work home on a weekend. Look at she's smiling. Yeah, she does.
It's easier to come in here. Work home is too distracting.
Are there plans to do a reliable compensation study?
The study that you're talking about is the Evergreen study, and we've done a couple of them recently. And I've looked at it. I would like to look at a different way of doing it. I'm familiar, the studies that I've done, the compensation studies that I've done, I like to look at not only larger cities, but also smaller cities or cities our size, because I don't think that if someone leaves here, they're going to always be going to a smaller city, right? They're going to probably be, I want to step up. I'm going to take another opportunity. We've had some folks do that. So I think you have to look at that. But I think you need to look at different areas. You have Palm Beach County. Are people going to leave our community to go to another community here in Palm Beach County? And I think that's probably pretty likely. But they also might go to our region or other places in the state. So there are different opportunities to compare so you can take a more weighted average of what some of those salaries are or what they might do. When I was in Okeechobee, we might only look, at some of the center part of the state counties, but a lot of the people were coming out to the coast. So we really need to be able to do that. And when we do it, that's a direction that I would recommend that we go. So we have multiple layers so that we can compare. With the salary study that we've done in the past, I'd like to maybe change up some of the communities that we're comparing with. So it's a little bit, maybe they're more comparable with us as well.
Whole circle.
Yes,
Are we
sir.
going to plan to do a
Yes, sir.
compensation study this
Yeah,
year?
but to go back to Barbara's positions, Barbara does have 3. 2 of them are ready to be hired. I think we have dates for the assistant and for the senior accountant to start. Is that correct?
Senior accountant in about 3 weeks. I don't know about the assistant.
Okay, but he's accepted. He's coming up from, a larger community, lives in Palm Beach County. It's a closer opportunity for him. So I think Barbara's team, she's developing a team that allows her to just be so much stronger in that office than they've been. And I think it's great. The one position that we repurposed, and this is when Barbara became the finance director, and this is why I'm so pleased that she wanted to be the finance director, was she knows the need for positions in that office. And one of the first, opportunities, to repurpose or to reorganize the office, was, it was one of the positions. We had a retirement, there was natural attrition, it wasn't a force out or anything like that. It was an open position. Let's reprogram the position, and that's why we're now looking at it as a procurement person, which will have trickle-down effects all the way through our other departments, so that we'll have one person who's doing our competitive bidding for our large-scale projects and large-scale items. So now our director in public works, our capital projects manager, whether our CRA administrator, these folks don't have to figure out how to do it or manage that process. The clerk managing a lot of, the advertising and the posting. Now it's going to be centralized with one person. So now we have that one person who's an expert. And it all started because Barbara had the foresight, because she knew what was going on in that department, and she had grown up in that department and been there. So that's why succession planning, I think, is so important for us. It maintains our culture, but it also allows us to see where there are deficiencies or where we also we've overextended, and we can look at things a little bit different. So real opportunity because of Barbara to help departments all the way through our town be more productive.
Let me try it differently. Let me try it differently. Can you look into the cost of doing another study and bring it back to us so we could possibly get it into this budget?
We can do that.
Okay, good answer. Thank you.
Barbara, I actually was going to ask you about, your position need, understanding what you mentioned as far as the procurement specialist, and using the funds that were from the director, HR director here. But I would be more in agreement with you.
Oh, thank you.
No, I'm serious in that sense, in that if there's a vacant position and we can look at providing a study and compensating our family, and I say that with true meaning, our family, I would so much more prefer that. We live in Palm Beach County. It is extremely expensive here in Palm Beach County to just, live. And yeah, these salaries looks, rather absorbent, but it's expensive to live here, and we're paying for talent. And what we have we have a family of good individuals that are here, and people that really know each other and have a very good symmetry, and synergy. So if we could use monies that have been budgeted but positions that aren't filled in order to do
the study and bump the people up that really need it, I would be in more desire to have that, because I'm just seeing some gross, and I would say, Commissioner Linden, when I was on and went through this the first time, truly novice with all of this. You know, it's a lot of information coming up, and former Commissioner Taylor as well. It's a novice, you know, I'm just learning and looking at this and really looking at it across the board, and my mouth is ajar, you know, in a lot of ways. And I'm not in the tendency of pitting one department against the other, but we know the value of good help. And to me, that's important, to compensate individuals that really need and have value. And so with that, I'm more apt to get our people funded if the position is vacant and we don't have anyone there, and then let's look at that at another time and maybe cross-train a person that will be coming in so that at least they know, and then if we allow for that position the next time, then we have at least trained someone that can fill it. But 3 vacant positions where we could really use money to do the study and compensate, I'm more in like for that. That's all. It's a lot to say, but that's it.
Okay. All set?
All set.
Commissioner Rourke?
Doing another comprehensive study, the one we did in 22, I was here for that, and you had a lot of battles on that.
Quite a few.
The comprehensive study was, I'm going to speak generally about it, what I remember about it. It was done to bring our staff up to levels that were commensurate with other communities. But in doing these studies, there's obviously other factors that weigh in here. Our staff is underpaid. They're going to be underpaid because we are who we are. We're Lake Park. We're not Palm Beach Gardens. We don't have this well of revenue that keeps growing. We're limited in what we can do. So there's other ways that we can compensate our staff. So I'm not sure about another study. One of the things that that 22 study did was it brought people up to a commensurate level with other communities. Another thing, as everybody knows, I mean, at least 3 of you have worked within government and understand that length of service is another factor with regard to...
It's a major factor.
And maybe the most concerned or considered factor. So, again, the 22 study focused on length of service, and that's where we ended up with some staff members who were a lot higher than some of the other staff members who seem to be at a more important level, maybe. That may not be the right way to say it, but I'm trying to make a point. The point being that that if we do a comprehensive study, there's other factors that should be weighed. One of the factors that was weighed on that 22 study was that our staff had been working without an increase for a long, long time. And in fact, there was a period of time in our town where public works employees actually took cuts in salaries. Thank God we're not in that place anymore, and we're at a place where we can start looking competitively toward other communities. So that's all.
Okay,
I just
thank you.
need to respond back because I lost sleep over that study, all right? Because it was weighted heavily towards the top and nothing for the bottom, all right? And the argument was the people making 30,000, 35,000, which we have now, don't see the benefits of that. So it took care of all of upper management and disregarded quite a bit. And it went back to, well, we're dealing with the union and we can only do so much. I still have a copy of that study because it still drives me nuts. But a legitimate, again, we can't change what we have now, but moving forward, you know, are we in the right position? Are they underpaid? Are they overpaid? And the blocks of where they fit in, once you get to a director position, no matter what you were making, call it 60, 70, call it 80,000, you automatically jumped up to 120. All right? That's what was wrong with that study. And it just wasn't stepped the way it should have been. So, yeah, we could spend an evening on it, but I'm not going to, so.
Vice Mayor?
I'm sorry, I just want to acknowledge, yes, that was the discussion, John, that we had for a long time, so.
I do remember that discussion, yeah.
Ooh, brutal.
You're good? Okay.
Can I?
Commissioner Thomas.
And Commissioner Rourke, you're correct that when we look at longevity, but even if we looked at longevity with Barbara, she's low because there are individuals who have come after you and are definitely getting paid more than you have, and you have actually grown in here and have had a promotion. Yes. So I just really wanted to put that on the record because I do understand that, and I have looked at that, and it hasn't been something that has been different because, and I will say this too, the town manager and I have spoken about various things of that nature as well. So it's out there, you know, and it's been a discussion, and so I have looked at that. But I will tell you, Commissioner Linden, if I've never said it before, I'm on your side.
All right, I'll be still. All right. All right, I do have another question for you.
Does that mean you're acknowledging the conservative side that you?
No, what
Okay,
I'm
so-
always, but
Sorry, I had to,
Going to the question, Mr. Commissioner
Had to say it,
Linden.
all right.
you don't have to answer that question.
no, what I was
going
going to
to-
ask, in lieu of, since the study is relatively new, is there a way that you can have a cursory review of it? Because I don't necessarily think that with it being within the last 3 years, do you have to go through with that entail? I mean, can they look, says here, based on this is what this should be, as opposed to, it's like almost like an appraisal. Instead of going through a full appraisal, you could do a review. Here, this is what's happened in the last couple of years, boom.
Can I comment on that?
Commissioner
One of the interesting things about this, if we look back at this study, most of the there's a lot of executive positions there. The personnel is different now.
Correct.
And so now you've fallen into this position when it may have been a different analysis back then. So,
Correct.
you know, that's part of the thing that needs to be, you got to look at these things all the time because the personnel changes all the time. There was, it goes to Jamie's position, a new position since then that goes to, and there's several positions of executive positions I'm talking about that have changed as new personnel. So,
Okay. Another question.
Okay.
All right. Out of curiosity, we have PNC Bank charge for $23,080. Could you give a little explanation?
Sure. The banks don't process anything for free. Anytime you deposit a check, there's a fee. They add up all those costs, and they offset those costs against their ability to invest our money overnight, and we end up paying the difference if there is one. So the more activity we do, the higher the bank fees.
All right, when I first looked at it, I thought it was like I just had to order plates from the DMV. And yeah, if you paid by credit card, there was an additional percentage you had to pay. So I don't know if our people pay by cash, credit card, check, but have we ever considered, if they were using a credit card, to follow the lead of some of the state and just include an additional fee?
So once COVID hit and we moved forward with more online payments, we moved to a processor where the convenience fee was charged back to the customer.
Oh,
So we do that for the non-marina. The marina is different. So if you come in, do you want to pay for a permit? You're charged a convenience fee. You can use a credit card or you can use an e-check. There are minimum fees. Online sanitation payments also come with a fee. All of that is pushed back onto the customer because we were spending $60,000, $70,000 a year paying for credit card processing fees.
wow.
Yes.
That's a lot of money. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Barbara, this isn't the cashless system fee that we're being charged here from PNC? This is not that cashless system fee that?
No. We will buy the equipment,
Yes,
and it is a service.
Yes.
So if the courier takes a bag with 10 checks in it, they're going to charge us a per check fee when they get
Right.
there. They're going to charge us a per check fee when we slide it through the scanner.
correct.
So there'll be no increase in cost. We're just saving the courier fees.
So this is an annual fee,
It's monthly.
this 23,080?
We get charged monthly.
Wait a minute, just 20,
That's the total for the year.
what I'm saying,
Oh, sorry.
But we get charged a monthly cost.
but this deals with the cashless system, right? I mean, this,
This deals with all banking services.
Okay.
So the direct deposits, checks being processed through, money being deposited in from ACH.
all service fees?
All service fees.
All service fees. Okay, because my question was, is this the cashless check system, and is this a reoccurring cost, or is this a one-time cost? That's what I was looking at. That's what my note was for that particular one.
Got it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Commissioner O'Rourke, you're good? Please continue.
Public safety. The sheriff has given us a renewal contract with a 3% increase. I know when you look at your budget, it looks like it's a much bigger increase because in 24-25, we used over $800,000 worth of ARPA funds to help support the sheriff's budget. So you'll see the expenditure on 2 lines and not 1. We've exhausted those monies, so it's not an option again for this year.
And you said a 3% increase?
3%,
Okay. And that's usually how the trend has been,
3 or 4.
3 or 4, yeah. And no added personnel.
No added personnel?
Why would you? We can't pay for the one we have now.
For the record, no added personnel.
Correct. For the record, no added personnel.
The 3.
Any questions?
Why are you looking at me?
You looked like you had a question.
Yes, thank you, Barbara.
Emergency management.
If I could real quickly about that budget. You're going to see an addendum coming at probably on the 17th meeting or hopefully on the September 17th meeting. One of the things that the captain has helped us with, and Jamie's worked real hard at it as well, is our Shot Spotter software. Right now, we pay directly to them. What the sheriff is willing to do is so that we can get the lower cost through the sheriff's office, be able to pay them directly rather than work directly through the Shot Spotter program. So you'll see that in the addendum. It won't change our costs, but you'll see that, and we appreciate that the sheriff's been able to do that, and especially the captain, how hard he worked on it. And Jamie, thank you too. Thank you.
I do have a question.
Commissioner Thomas.
The building that our sheriff's department is still owned by the town?
Correct.
Okay. What's the maintenance cost for it? Do we have like who maintains it? Who's responsible for the maintenance costs of that?
Facilities here, Public Works.
Is that in because that's not shown in the budget. It's just a comprehensive maintenance cost? Is that how we do it?
It's in the facilities budget.
Because I keep wondering, and we maintain it. We are responsible. So we pay $4 million, and then we are responsible for maintaining that building.
Correct.
Vice Mayor.
It is our building, right? So, yeah.
They using it.
True, but I think we're paying for the service.
When you rent a house.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
All set. Commissioner O'Rourke.
I don't understand that concern. They're our police force.
Yeah.
My concern is is that we're getting charged $4 million. I mean, let's think, in a house, you rent a house, you have to go in there and you have to clean the toilet if you're the owner of the house. Who's maintaining it? Who's utilizing that? So all you're saying is that I'm going to live in your house, I'm going to utilize your house, but at the end of the day, you're responsible for the repairs of that house that you are living in. None of our staff per se is in that house using it. Yes.
Our police department is in that building.
But we, the town of Lake Park, not the sheriff's department, the town of Lake Park, our public works guys are maintaining that. And a 3%, and you got 3 new deputies or 2.5 or whatever last year, I'm just thinking, we're talking about money here. So that's straight personnel. All of the costs that's associated with the building is on us as the town.
Correct.
So I grab my money and I run. So, I'm protecting you, but at the end of the day, they need to go house someplace. They're not being housed in the car. I'm just thinking that when we look at it, if they were going to be using their facility, there need to be some cost on their part or maintenance on their part. And that's just my thoughts about it.
Town Manager.
Maybe Jamie can kind of add, but I believe that they do some of the work. Is there assistance there?
Jamie, why don't you come on up here and discuss on this item, please?
They break the toilet, we fix it.
Good evening, Commissioners, Town Manager. No, actually, Public Works take care of the facilities. They do assist letting us know or if there's any minor things to do, but typically we take care of the entire facilities and the amenities of the facilities, which entails the generators and everything, light fixtures and such.
Okay, I thought, Mr. Mayor,
Vice Mayor.
I always thought this question was focused on the landscaping, because I do not want to contract anybody else to do the landscaping, because I'm still driving up in Park Avenue, so that's what.
Yeah, but so Public Works not only just cut the grass, but they maintain the building itself as well. So anything that's going on with that, they do it. This is something, when you know better now, you can ask questions. I didn't know better, so I didn't ask the question. I'm just saying, at this point, you utilize it, and all what we get, I mean, it's a hefty bill that we're incurring, and that's it. So yes, they're an entity of us, but no, they're not really an entity of us. Yes, they're providing service to us, but they're also using the facility that we have provided for them in order to use that. And so, in my opinion, maybe there should have been something for them to at least try to maintain or pay towards. Maybe not charge us 3% this year.
Has there been, Jamie, anything extenuating that you've done on that building outside of normal maintenance?
Yes, well, in the current time that I started with the town, we did the fence, but that was a project that we funded. We did the awning. They also contribute part of that project. We did fix the generator.
Go back to that fence. How much was the fence estimated?
I think it was 115, if I'm not incorrect, I believe.
Okay, you do have it in here.
150. 150. 150. Instead of 115, 150. Plus, we fix a generator, and then we fix any type of amenity. And I know that the prior captain and Stephen and I have met, and there are minor stuff inside the buildings that we do want to fix. Nevertheless, we have to budget for it in order to fix it. But typically, we do all the maintenance. If anything happens in the buildings, we get a work order and we go and fix it.
Okay. Captain, I got a question for you. So, knowing that you came over from another district, any other districts that you've been a part of, are they typically owned by the sheriffs or owned by the municipality or county agency?
Every contract that we have, as far as I understand, is our housing is provided by the jurisdiction of which is contracting us.
Okay,
So,
then-
for example, I was in District 14, housed there, and they provided the building and the maintenance, et cetera. It's common practice.
And to your knowledge, is there any contractual agreements between county, municipality of that nature as far as the maintenance to share costs? Has there ever been one that's gone through your knowledge?
I'm unaware of that.
Okay.
Now, I would tell you, we do things inside of the building, and we don't bother your facilities. For example, when I moved in, it really needed a paint job, so I just had our people do it.
So you have done,
Well, yeah, of course.
yes. Commissioner Rourke.
How you doing, Captain?
Good, thank you.
We have a contract for a certain number of officers, correct?
You do.
And if something happens in this town that requires, for example, detective services, we don't contract for detective services, do we?
No, North
We
Region.
get the detective services.
Of course you do.
If there is if there's some event going on that requires I'm going to call you our police force, to put a helicopter in the air, we don't contract for that helicopter, do we?
All the ancillary services we provide for you. If there's a need that I have, my sergeants have, we provide it for you at no additional cost.
And I could go on and do all that all night long, right?
Absolutely.
It's not a contracted service. It's part of what we get with the sheriff's department. Is that correct?
I think so, yes.
Okay. No further question. Thank you, Captain.
And the point is that they have a boat, they have a helicopter, what? I don't know what the point is. I mean, you have a large force. They're being paid by it's just not us. But what I'm saying is that we're comparing apples and oranges.
I
the
agree
whole
with
issue,
that. You're
the
doing
whole
the apples to
issue
orange
was-
analysis.
No, the issue was that they're being housed in the building. My question was, do they participate? That was what my question is. I didn't ask whether or not they had a helicopter, a plane, or a boat. I just wanted to know, are they using it, and do we have a contractual services? That's all my question was. I mean, you have a larger force, you should have that. Then you got a bigger house, so you need bigger equipment. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying that you're in there, you're maintaining it. Is that something that we do? If it's not, and it's been a standard, it's a standard. When you know better, you ask. So I know better, so I'm asking.
It is a standard throughout.
Okay,
Captain, I do have a question for you.
sure, Commissioner Linden.
The 4% increase, By 3%, I'm sorry. Is that negotiable at all? How was that number arrived at, since we're small versus a larger area?
If it's negotiable, it's not right here. I'm not aware that it is negotiable. That would be something the sheriff himself would have to approve. I believe we've given a 3% across the board to everybody right now.
Okay. Yeah, because $4 million roughly is what the cost is that we have to pay. And with some of the stuff that was brought up tonight, I was wondering if it was, that's all. What I like about it versus our old Lake Park police, if you would, they did a nice job, but if they needed a detective undercover or something, they couldn't do it. Or you could reach out to anybody in PBSO and get the gang squad, the cycles, the motors up here or anything. So there's some advantages to have you right in our backyard. But the number's high, that's all.
No, I understand.
I think
Thank you.
basically just in simplistic terms, it's comparing a la carte, having your own police department versus what you provide us is a buffet. Is that safe to say?
Okay, yes.
Meaning helicopters,
So-
men, cars, oh my,
How
right?
yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, how it pertains to you and the city and the council and the citizens that we serve is this. When we get a complaint from Pablo, he tells me that there's speeding in the town. I assign my deputies to task that situation, but I also call the captain in traffic and I ask him, hey, can you send me a few motorcycles over here for a day or two or a week, whatever it is, to get the message out? And we don't charge for that service. I mean, that's just quality of service that we want to provide you.
No, understood. But again, as in simplistic terms, when I'm talking a la carte, I mean the man, the car, the insurance, anything of that nature, as if it was a regular employee in the town of Lake Park, versus we're paying you a one-time fee, and you yourselves are handling all that measurables that we would normally be handling in-house if it was our own employee.
Correct, yes.
Okay? And I do appreciate what you guys do. You guys do a lot for our town, and you provide us a lot of good aspect. And since your time and tenure here, I've seen that a lot more than it was before. That's not to discredit what was, but you've raised the level bar more, and I appreciate you for that.
You're welcome. We're here to serve you.
Absolutely. Vice Mayor.
I just want to say this. I'm going to be really quick. I get everybody's point and, maintenance and buildings, and I get that. But like the mayor just said, you guys do a great job. I always look at other municipalities and their local police force and what you guys, manpower that you guys bring. And we just had a discussion on the dais about getting good people, paying good people to do good jobs. And if you don't have a safe community, you don't have a community. And we're pretty safe here, and I love that about us. And I think that's why, even in at the school district, I'm just going to say that, they contract help with the sheriff department because they use the best of the best. Safety is important.
Yep.
And you have nothing if you have no safety. If you can't walk down the street, feel safe, you have nothing. You can't get in your low-speed vehicle, you don't feel safe, you don't feel safe. So I thank you for what you do.
You're welcome.
And to your point, Commissioner Linda, about negotiating the contract with the percentages, I think last year how that was negotiated was rather than give the percentage when we added the extra personnel, that was the trade-off at that time from last year, was the personnel, the sheriff said, I will waive the fee because we added I believe it was 2 officers and 1 service aide.
1 and 1.
Right. Or was it 1 and 1? I'm trying to remember. I think it was
2 deputies and a
It was 2
CSA.
officers and a service,
2 and
community
1.
service.
Correct.
Correct.
And
So
as
that-
I understood it, when that happened, they did waive your increase from
Yeah,
last year.
the sheriff did waive the 4% at that time. So, just so you, for clarity's sake. Thank you very much for answering the
Thank you.
questions.
Good job. man.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right. There's no other questions?
Emergency
Oh.
management. No, but it's fast. We maintain a consultant who assists us with, filing any claims with FEMA in the event of a storm. He is currently assisting us with our FROC application. He's available daily. I mean, I've reached out to him where I get strange emails from Department of Emergency Management. I don't know what they're trying to ask. He'll help me respond to them. So that is his annual fee. Should there be an event and he prepares a reimbursement, he will charge extra fees. And I will just relate, a couple of years ago during COVID, we were able to turn in all the receipting for the stepped-up cleaning, the PPE that we provided, and we were reimbursed for everything except for the Remy Halos that we put on the air conditioners. They said it was not a valid expense. It was almost $25,000 charge for about $800. He got us at $24,000, so he is more than worth his money.
And Mr. Mayor, I would say, just for the cost of FROC, it would cost us as staff, we could do it in-house. We would spend more than the $4,300, and that's reimbursement money up front if there's a storm or multiple storms, plus he's covering the cost of the storm. He sat in on our training.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I think that this is a good option for us, or a good opportunity for us to continue.
Okay. Vice Mayor.
Question for the town manager, and did we get our reimbursement for Milton?
Not yet.
Still working on it.
Still working on it.
We've done everything that we're supposed to do. It's now on their end.
And this is where FROC will be helpful for us, because once we get these, these approvals up front, or we get our points, we get a percentage of that up front from the state. We don't have to submit anything. And it's just, I've done this for so many, every time you get to a certain point, then people change at that level, and you're starting over. And that's why having someone like Carter is going to be helpful for us, because it's just a continued, you just have to stay on top of it. And even then, you don't get your money right away.
No.
But we're on top of it. We're working through it. So, no, it's important. It's important for all of us. So.
Okay. Any
Anything else?
questions? Nope. Over here?
Public Works Administration. So in Public Works, the budget was very consistent to last year. There was one item that we moved that from contractual into operating to align with other Public Works departments, just for consistency. Mm-hmm. So you see a decrease and an increase, but it's just merely a moving of money.
Okay, just line item shifting. Any questions?
I'm good.
Moving forward.
Moving forward to grounds. In grounds, there is a significant increase in contractual services. The turf that is down on the Burt Bostrom field will require specific maintenance, and that has been budgeted in this year.
And the turf's been put down already.
Yeah.
Passed.
There's also some additional training that's been budgeted so that our staff can learn how to maintain that field.
Yeah, I just went by there recently and was just amazed. Almost feels like nothing ever happened. It looks really good out there.
It's kind of cool now what's underneath.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Commissioner O'Rourke.
I wanted to ask a question about the Burt Bostrom, the turf that was laid down. Jamie? Jamie, what kind of turf was it?
Bermuda, it's a,
I've been waiting for that. I've been waiting for Bermuda grass out there for a long time. It's that we were going with the Augustine before, which is not a turf to play sports on. And it was one of those things, and it never seemed to happen. And now we got Bermuda. Thank you. No questions, just thanks.
Wait, don't go anywhere.
Commissioner Thomas.
It's also extremely expensive to maintain, isn't
it is. It's a specialized maintenance required for the field.
it? Yeah.
We are under a 6 months contract. The contractor has a warranty to maintain it for the next 6 months. This is why we included it in the budget for us to maintain it. We are going to try to include it, or actually it's one of the items included on the new contract that we're proposing to establish with the CRA.
Yeah.
But it is expensive. We do want to train our teams.
I was
just
going to
in
say, that's
case-
the other thing, because we don't have any other place in here that has that kind of,
No.
so that requires, I mean, that's almost like a, what do you call it? A golf course,
That
right?
is-
Golf course, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that means that you're going to have to go out there and maintain it or work. I mean, that's some,
And I'll start a soccer program too with the town manager.
you know? And that it doesn't get bug infested and, just,
It requires a couple of steps and process.
Yes.
But it does require special maintenance.
yes,
And it's not like a regular field that you can just mow and that's it, no.
absolutely. And kick up. You just can't go out there and just be driving your golf club.
Commissioner, don't look at it as a negative. It's like anybody that
It's the
puts
cost. It's the
I understand, but
cost.
it's a cost to provide something for the children of our community so that they can play sports the proper way. It's a really good thing. I came from the rec department. I was president of the PBGYAA.
Coming from the country club.
And that country club in Palm Beach Garden had several different parks where they had that type of turf. But we don't have that, and we haven't had that for so long for our kids. And so, I know you're not going against the kids. I understand you're looking at the cost, but this is something that allows us to create sports programs for the kids in our town. It really, that's what it is.
That may change anyway, considering what we may have possibly in the future.
Yeah. We take in consideration any future development within the grounds. Yes, it will change.
That will definitely change the makeup of this budget item
Yeah.
completely.
How often does it have to be like maintained and cut?
It requires now, at least once the 6 months has passed, like every 3 weeks, we have to start mowing it. We got to aerate it.
Do we have equipment that could actually manage that kind of a field, or would we have to incur new equipment?
Well, right now, that's
Yes.
why we're including that as an action item in the next contract for the landscaping on the CRA.
Yes.
He does have the equipment to maintain.
contractor.
Yeah, the contractor.
Okay.
Nevertheless, as we look the comparison, say, could we assume such activity in-house? Then yes, we will have to require the
New equipment for it, yeah.
mechanism and equipment and trainer team.
But that will be in the CRA budget.
Yes.
Correct.
Well, no,
Not
the
necessarily.
maintenance,
I'm just
no.
making sure it's
No,
what
no,
you-
the maintenance will not fall within the CRA.
'Cause I don't
No,
think that
it's
CRA
in
can
the
cover
CRA
that.
contract, but that portion has to be covered by the town.
Yeah, I don't,
Because
I
the
don't
CRA
think-
cannot cover
Yeah, they can't
regular
do that.
maintenance.
That's why I was, okay, so you
Yeah.
understood why.
Yeah,
why
that's
I-
why I'm so concerned, because
For the record.
it's a huge expense, just for that area, that's all. I love it. It's not that, it's just expensive. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions on, yes? Any questions on this side?
I've got a comment and a question, but
Or Commissioner Linden.
I brought this up hours ago, I guess now, I'm not sure. But as I look at the compensation for some of these positions, I don't know how anyone can live on $35,000, $40,000. We do have one vacancy. I would like to propose there's at least $30,000 to $50,000 in money in here that can be used if it was redirected or eliminated. I would like to propose to my fellow commissioners that we take a look at some of the items that we can cut and give these guys raises. They've been neglected for so many years. Again, they're not making 100, 120. You know, they're not even making 75. There's no page numbers. We'll get to that. But it's right under the facilities. So I would like to seriously bump up their pays. Is that a union position?
Yes, they're all union.
And we had negotiated with the union a set pay. Can we pay them a bonus? Or something, call it whatever you want, other than a pay raise?
The answer is yes, but we would have to negotiate that with them, and I'm sure it wouldn't be that hard of a negotiation. The problem is, who are you giving the increase to, and how much, and different things like that, so that there's a level of fairness throughout, the entire, because if you just look at one group, then others, and it creates a morale issue. So we need to be mindful of that.
All right, knowing that, and I hate to bring it back up
Also compression too, so I didn't
with
say
that study, they were forgotten in that study. And if you moved them up 1 or 2 levels in there to bring them up, maybe we change the title, because title seems to change compensation all the time. So we change their title, move them up 1 or 2 notches, and they get to be a livable wage, The seesaw's unbalanced. We've got to take care of these guys are out there 5-6 days a week in the sun, hopefully staying hydrated. These are and some of the others.
Well, again, we propose, at the end of your general fund, you'll see that there's a contingency number. We put that there for things like this. One of the things that we're also going to be doing is ensuring that, where there are savings or dollars that are not spent on the personnel side, we're not going to shift those to operating unless we have to. And so we have contingency and the personnel savings that if we need to, when we come back to you guys with a number, we can amend our budget, or we can even do something maybe before the 8th final reading to let you know what that number is, as we mentioned before.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions? Ms. Gold?
Sorry, I got a little heavy on the clicker here.
No, it's okay.
So now we're on to facilities maintenance. So in facilities maintenance, we have 3 employees. One position is vacant. And the items of note in the operating section are the professional fee increased for pest control. And contractual services actually shows lower janitorial costs than have been budgeted in the past. And lower air conditioning as well, hopefully because of that new air conditioner we got.
Questions?
Explain why the contractual services number went down. That's a pretty significant, not too much, but it's significant.
The money that was originally budgeted as janitorial was significantly higher than what we're being billed now.
Okay.
So that was the biggest decrease. There were small items that also changed.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
We're in the
Facilities.
facilities. Yeah,
408.
408. Commissioner Linden. I'll give you time.
I read something that was a little confusing to me. Iguana removal services for Kelsey Park at $5,880. $490 a month. What do we do? What is iguana? I know what it means, but
So that was, when I started in the town, we had a huge concern from the citizens that were living in Lakeshore Drive, specifically those that were in, I think it's 801, if I'm not incorrect, the building, just by Kelsey Park, right by the bioswale. Where John Agostino used to live, I believe so. So they had huge concerns about iguanas, and literally there was a huge set of iguanas. And they were complaining that the iguanas were not only harming the bioswale, but also impacting their area. At the time, we asked the pest control that we had on hand, which he was taking care of the bird issue that we had on the tower and on the clock tower and in Public Works. And he also had iguana control. So we issued a PO for him for 1 year with the agreement, and I have the email with the residents of 801 that we were going to take care of the iguana issue. But further that, then they would have to support the iguana control. And we have pictures. We have many pictures where there's a lot. There was a lot of iguanas.
so we've already paid 1 year?
Yeah,
2 years?
No, this year was the year that we paid.
This year will be the year we pay.
Yes, 24, 25. We have it in the budget, right, as a placeholder, just in case we needed to add, because we had calls with other areas that are having similar situations, and like in parks and such. So we kept it in the budget as a boilerplate, a placeholder, sorry. Just in case we want to reassume that small contract with the pest control, but if not, it could literally, we're not going to use it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Commissioner.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yeah, we do need an iguana control pest, yeah. It doesn't have to be just over in Kelsey Park. There are other parks where they have now, and they need to go. So maybe just take it off of Kelsey Park and just put iguana extermination, Town of Lake Park.
Here you go.
I mean,
They got to go.
it makes sense.
And I will let you know, they burrow holes and they just create problems with the sidewalk, and they eat your vegetable gardens and your orchids. They don't even save a flower on it. They've got to go.
See, you've had personal experience.
My constituents tell me about it.
Okay. Any other questions? Ms. Gold?
Okay, no. Vehicle maintenance. Okay, vehicle
Go ahead, Barbara.
vehicle maintenance. No change in personnel expenditures on the operating side. The leasing cost for vehicles was reduced by one pickup truck that was transferred from general fund over to the CRA to support this code officer, code compliance officer that is in the CRA. And there are reduced maintenance costs shown here, and they're reflective of ongoing reduced costs.
Mr. Mayor, this is one of the areas that when the new assistant director comes on, we want to really start looking, maybe auditing, I don't know how you want to call it, now analyzing the leasing program here and understanding the costs, the benefits. You know, are we making money? Should we go back to a traditional purchase? The management fees can get quite extensive.
Now you're done.
So we're going to be looking at that as well throughout the next year.
Okay. Any questions? Barbara?
Community development.
Barbara,
Oh, sorry.
no, I did have one question. I'm sorry. I was trying to look up a reference and I couldn't find it quick enough. Under that, and this is a question for Jamie, ASC certification, which is the standard in the industry. You have two guys going at a cost of $500. What certifications do you know that they're going for?
I don't know it right now by heart, but I could get you that information, Commissioner.
Yeah, I'd like you to get back to me on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, can you share that?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I would.
Yeah, because there's 8 different certifications that well, I don't know how many will apply to them, but let me know, then maybe we'll have a phone call, you and I, to discuss that, and then we can bring it in front of the commission. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
What was it? What does ASE stand for?
It's National Institute for Automotive Service Excellence. All professional, not all, but most professional mechanics get that certification to show their proficiency in a certain area, and there's 8 of those areas. So I'm glad to see that. I really am. Is this the first time with this? Do you know?
I cannot tell you the
All right,
answer to that,
we'll talk
but
about
I
it
could,
then,
I could
yeah.
elaborate a little bit more afterwards.
Okay,
All set?
sure.
All right. Barbara?
Community development. In community development, we've added funds to revise the mobility plan and also for a new impact fee. So between the two, there's about $170,000 budgeted there.
What we're looking to do is possibly revise our mobility plan to incorporate the county roads.
Yes.
So that we would then collect those fees. We're in the process of negotiating an agreement with the county. They've indicated that they would be willing to put county roadway projects into our agreement for them to be able to continue collecting impact fees. We're still working through it. They're working through it with a number of communities. It's supposed to be done by October 1st.
Yeah.
Statute requires that both sides would then forfeit 10% if there's not. I just don't know if that's, not he's smiling at me. I don't know if that's going to happen, and I think that's the same with many communities within our. I know the county's pushing, but again, we need to see. We still have not gotten the information on the impact fees, all the information on the impact fees that have been spent in our community and benefited our community, that have been earned or received in from our community. So, maybe we'll see something different with the new, with some changes there, but we'll keep you in the loop. But I don't know if we're going to have something by the 17th. So, with impact fees, this will provide us with dollars from new developments that come in. It's based on new development, and it pays for the impacts that new development would have on our community. So if there's 1,000 new residents, right now the financial burden is being put on our current residents to improve or increase the library. This would help to fund some of those dollars to make those improvements. town hall or other administrative facilities. Just like the mobility fees for roads, impact fees would be helpful for all of our other facilities and Parks and Rec and different things like that. So it's a real opportunity for us to take some of that burden off of our current residents and, maintain the impact on the development side.
Vice Mayor.
I'm just going to say I'm excited about that. Like, I'm hoping everything worked out in negotiation. I know we had a conversation about it. I'm excited about that.
Okay. I'm sorry, Commissioner O'Rourke.
I'm still don't understand. Maybe I was out of loop for a while, but I don't understand why we went from how we and let me ask the question this way. The impact fees that you're talking about, are those fees collected by the town?
They would be collected by the town.
That doesn't go to the county, though, then
No,
it goes
they
to
would
us.
stay with us.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is that impact fee is basically broadens the use of what new development fees would pay into a town, and broaden the areas where they could apply those funds.
Right. Yeah, in your comprehensive plan, it says based on so many people, you have to have so many acres of parks. As that develops, as the town develops, we now would have an income stream to help make sure that we meet our comprehensive agreement and have enough park space or open space. Right now, unless someone goes vertical high enough, like what happened with Nautilus, the dollars that we would be using to build those parks or purchase that land for the park space would be coming from ad valorem, which is, so this would help to offset those costs.
Okay, thank you.
The one other notable area in this budget I would like to mention is that we are working with, or Nadia is negotiating with our current building
Yes.
I was going to say our building, official vendor. Right now, it's a 70-30 split. They're on 70, we're on 30. So we're looking at revising that, hopefully to a 50-50 split, which it was a few years ago. They've indicated that they may not have an interest in going there. So we are looking at other options, not only with other companies, but also the potential of bringing all of that in-house. So we're looking at it completely so that we can manage a service the way we need to manage it, and of course the cost. So and I appreciate Nadia's help with that. It's a big project just dealing with that. So
I'm just going to say, go, Nadia, go.
And then one other area that I did want to mention is inside of the training side, there is training dollars for our code folks to continue growing in their professionalism. There are 3 levels of code enforcement certification, so that's available for them. Also, something that I'm pleased with, and I know Nadia is, and they're excited about taking some of those opportunities to grow.
And one more piece about the training is there are reserve dollars that is for building code training, and we have brought those reserve dollars into the budget on the revenue side and budgeted the expenditure of them in this budget as well. It's $8,006.
Well, I'm going to do Commissioner Linden first. Yeah. Go ahead, Commissioner Linden.
All right.
He had raised his
I had a CAP question, CAP.
Okay.
We paid them or anticipate paying them $324,000. Is that correct?
Yes.
And change. Okay.
And that's based on our estimate of new development. If that development doesn't happen, then we don't pay them that amount. Again, they get 70% of the building permits that are paid for. So
Okay.
that number can fluctuate. It might go to $1 million if we have $100 million in new development that comes in. That's our best guess at it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Contractual professional services cost recovery, 75,000. I don't quite understand what that means.
So if we have to reach out for an engineer or an architect that we don't have in-house to review and approve plans, we collect a deposit from the customer, and we use that to pay those funds.
It's a reimbursement
So
program.
it's strictly a reimbursement. The money will just sit as a deposit until it's expended. Nadia approves the invoice, we pay the bill, and then we move that piece of the revenue, that piece of the deposit into revenue. So there could be a little bit of a timing difference at year end, but otherwise, whatever money we spend, it does. We already have the money sitting a deposit, and we're able to recognize it as revenue.
Thank you.
Okay.
Commissioner Thomas.
This might just be an error, but the APA conference, is it in Miami this year? Because it says September 8th through the 11th, 2025. So I'm not thinking that you're using this budget as part of the APA. So this must be some other.
Could be.
Right.
When I looked at that,
I know.
I saw two different locations for the same conference.
So I'm like thinking, no, this can't be, because this would still be in this year's budget, not next year's budget. So this
Correct.
may be, this was just a figure that we were using just to determine maybe what the conference would be for next year?
So that would just be a date, but there were two different locations online
Right.
when I looked it up. So I'm not sure.
APA conference, to the APA conference.
Thank you.
Town manager. I am exhausted. Okay? Well, I'm going to just say this, okay? I'm exhausted, and not only am I exhausted, I'm frustrated too, because I've only had a day and a half to look at this because it came in on Tuesday, right? And like everybody else, I really worked hard to try to get to where I'm at tonight, but I am exhausted, and to be honest, I didn't go any further because I couldn't go any further in looking at anything else because I'm exhausted. I just didn't look at it. I just didn't have the time to look at the rest. So that's up to you guys, but I'm just like saying I'm going to need another time for the rest of this because I'll be honest, this is it. This is where my blue sheet stops. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I could support that. It's going on 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
We've been here since.
I also still have 2 public
5:30.
comment cards as
Yes,
well.
Well, I understand we got comment, and we'll get to them.
No, I'm
But
just saying
to-
with respect to that.
I would support rescheduling the back half of this.
I
It's a
would be
long,
okay
and
with
we didn't get nothing to eat.
Say that again.
Well, I did, and I said, boy, it'd be nice if we had some chicken sandwiches. And,
Merrill was supposed to take care of that.
oh, Merle was supposed to get the chicken
Oh,
sandwiches.
Wow, you just
Oh,
went ahead and
Boy, did he throw you under the bus.
you just went ahead and threw that on Merrill.
I think we had talked to you guys, or when Shannon called, we had talked about maybe the 2nd. The 3rd, I don't know that we would want to do it on the 3rd, but we certainly can. We have a commission meeting that day.
You also have a CRA, don't we?
With the
Yeah,
CRA.
That's a long night, man.
The CRA, we were gonna incorporate the CRA budget into the CRA meeting, but we can do that, if we did it on the 2nd, we can just do everything on the 2nd if you guys have an interest in doing that.
Are we, how far, we're not going over the stuff we went over already, correct?
We're just going down.
So
Yeah.
what, we only had, how
3
many
tabs.
items?
Got 2 tabs left,
Two
right?
tabs,
Special
yes.
events, you have library, you have public improvement, non-departmental and special projects. You have
Special
about
events.
4 more to go.
And then you have streets and roads.
Non-departmental.
Oh, roads.
Yeah, I
There's
think
well.
you had,
There's a lot of questions.
I think you got a consensus of possibly looking to reestablish this on another
Would the
day.
2nd work for everybody? Since we're
Second
here now?
We'll make it work.
Which-
works for me. It's a
Yeah.
Tuesday night.
Well, how do we do that advertising?
Because then now you're coming
We're
back.
off tomorrow.
Right.
You gotta give notice on budget
Correct.
meetings, right?
Yeah. Well, we can do it after the 3rd.
So a week
My
from,
only concern is if there's some, would you guys want to do just start at 5 on the 3rd?
on the day of
It's a
the,
long day too. Or you could do it after.
I have an hour ride to get home, and I leave at work at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
I left early, got here late. The 5 o'clock start's very difficult for me, so,
would you be good for the 4th?
I'm sorry.
Would you be good for the 4th?
I'm okay with that, yeah.
4th?
4?
A week from today? The 4th
September
of-
4th.
Oh, the 4th, yeah. Hey, if you got a speeding ticket coming down, I got a guy.
That's what I have to avoid, you know.
So,
But I also want to point out that September 4th,
Thursday?
I believe that's opening night of NFL football. I just wanted to put that out there.
that's how you get out early.
Thursday night?
Thursday night
Yeah.
But
football.
it's not the Steelers or the Jets, so
No, it's not, but it is the opening night of NFL football.
we'll
So
just have to get
I
done.
thought that might be
Mr. Mayor,
something.
Yes, sir.
the DOT regarding, the DOT meeting regarding the US 1 project is on the 4th.
Oh, that's right.
And that's,
Oh,
yes, so that would be
yes.
the same day. So if you had an interest in going to that as well.
And can I
The
ask
DOT
the
meeting, they're gonna do it.
town clerk, there is notice requirement on budget meetings,
Workshop.
It's a workshop.
on workshops, you have to give public notice. How much notice lead do we have to have?
Well, our town code says that if it's an emergency, we can have it within 24 hours, but if it's 48 hours, if it's a special call, so there's certain guidelines, but none of that would work into what we're trying to plan.
I just want to make sure we have enough time to
So
notify
we're-
the public.
Town
as
hall is
well.
closed tomorrow,
Correct.
You can still bring them in
on
tomorrow.
Monday,
We can meet tomorrow.
so that would leave, that,
Jamie, what time does fumigation start?
that would leave, that would leave us giving notice on Tuesday. Right, so,
Well, there's the meeting, we have a meeting on the 2nd, correct?
we have a meeting on the 3rd.
I'm sorry, the 3rd, that's what I meant.
Correct.
What about the following week?
Well, then we have our first public
Yeah, but you're
hearing on the
cutting into
budget
that
on Monday.
public, yeah, the public one.
Yeah, yeah, we're
So it's gotta be either Thursday or we have a long Wednesday.
Thursday or Friday.
But Thursday we can't because that's the transportation.
Right.
That's the FDOT meeting.
So Friday
The 7th, the 7th is
is
what
a
day?
Sunday?
It's a workshop. Why can't we do a Saturday morning?
Our meeting is on.
Can we do it on a Saturday?
Can we do it on a Saturday morning? It's a workshop.
I have a smile going right now.
Like, I'm not doing it. I mean, this is time certain. I mean, I imagine we could get through this in,
But you don't have to,
Yeah.
this isn't all of it, so it's, we only have the 4 items here, the CRA,
To finish up this meeting.
well, no,
And
altogether.
the CRA is a
Altogether.
different, yeah.
There's
So
more.
you have 4 here.
so you
have
got like 4 more
co-
hours is what you're saying?
No, there's more.
There's
There's more
No, we have
information.
items from the CRA
you have the
plus
CRA and
the
you have the
remainder of this.
CIP. And the CIP, you've already approved or you've reviewed everything that's in the capital. Capital this year is very limited just because of where we are.
Correct.
So really, you have 4 or 5 items. It shouldn't be, super extensive. The CRA is what the CRA is going to be. I mean, so.
That's
you
a
have- You have
couple-
about six
That's a
more.
couple hours, no matter how you cut it. There's been a lot of great conversation up here tonight,
Yeah.
and we need it for this budget. We just need to do it next week somehow.
What if well, you said you can't leave work early.
That's what I'm saying, either Friday or Saturday. Why can't do that?
Can you guys do Friday?
But it'll have to be Friday after, 5:30. I can't. do
Friday,
it.
Commissioner Linda?
I'm good all week. I'm
I'm
fine.
good. We figured.
I got a close ride.
Vice Mayor?
I'm checking the calendars.
I'm good with Friday.
Friday is the 5th.
Friday the 5th.
How will that play into building our resolutions and everything? And advertising for that? That's our concern.
What's the concern?
Your resolutions, your notice of the final budget, which is on the 8th, which is Monday. You have a meeting on Monday to approve the first reading of your budget, which is fine.
Monday, the 8th.
Which is fine. You can change that. I mean, your ordinance numbers can change from one meeting to final reading. Final reading is going to be your last number, so we can have a projected number of what we think it's going to be. I mean, again, unless you guys, say that you're going to have, with 6 more divisions, that you're going to change hundreds of thousands of dollars in those divisions, which I doubt. We can build it, yeah.
Did we say anything about Tuesday, the 2nd?
The
We
problem
don't
is
have enough time to
advertising.
Okay, that's
advertise
fine.
it.
I just wanted to make sure, just so we, all right, so Friday.
Are we getting more inserts?
CRA
Oh,
and
only
capital.
if we're changing something?
So what did you say, Town Manager?
CRA and capital
Yes.
and CIP and CRA.
When are we going to get those? Because, see, I think that that's the problem. Because the true problem is, because now I'm
2
a,
days to 2 days. to
wait a
look over.
minute, that's true. But it's been 3 weeks since the last time we did this. And I thought that the whole idea of breaking it up was that we were going to have like a continuous roll. Yes, we were gone for the weekend. That was like last weekend. But it's been 3 weeks. It was August the 2nd, I think, was the time that we had gotten this. And then we had the meeting either August 2nd or
We
August
had it
3rd.
right before we left.
Yeah, and so now we're at the end of August. So there's whole 3 weeks that have been like gone. Now I feel like I got to like take the burger and don't even bite, just swallow. So we need like the rest of this, because I'll be honest, at 6:30 on Tuesday afternoon when this came, I was livid. Okay, now I'm okay. But I'm just saying,
Are we good for Friday?
it's not whether or not we good, it's when are we going to get the stuff. I don't want to like get it on,
No, I
The
get,
day before.
and I get that, but we still have to iron out a day.
I'm good.
Once
The
the day,
5th,
once the day is set, then it becomes, okay, how soon can you get us
I'm
the,
the 5th. I'm good the 5th.
are you good, Vice Mayor?
If
I'm
we
not-
can't do it the 4th, I'm good the 5th.
I'm not sure I'm good, but we could put it for, I mean, everything looks good. So I think I'm good. So, yeah, we can do it.
Commissioner Linda,
You can also do it after the DOT meeting if you wanted to do it then on Thursday.
Huh?
I mean, so you have after the DOT meeting that you could do it too, or you can do it,
what time is it, what
what is
time?
it, from 6 to 7? 5 to 6, excuse me. So you can do this
So we would do
meeting
it
at
like at
6:30.
6:30 again.
So you have that option too.
You good, Commissioner?
Why not? Let's just like, get it
There you
out.
go.
If nothing else, then you go to the next day and you finish up but we need to like,
All right, so let's do Thursday, 6:30. The 4th, going back to the 4th.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Is there another conflict?
Yeah.
Judy Cooper, Library Director. The DOT meeting is from 4 to 7 on Thursday. It's
4 to
from
7?
4 o'clock in the afternoon till 7.
But a lot of times DOT meetings are, you leave when you're ready to leave.
Correct.
So you don't have to be there, I think, the full time.
They're using our mirror room, our mirror ballroom, or they're here?
No, they're in the Skylar room in the
Oh,
library.
okay, they're at the, okay,
Yeah, they're
they're at the
next door.
library. Oh, okay, so this area is not being impacted by it?
No.
Okay.
6:30 sounds good. Unless y'all want to come in a little earlier at 6, but I'm thinking about you.
Make it by 6.
All right,
On what day is it again?
that's the 4th.
Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Did you guys say we have a meeting or something?
That's the DOT meeting, that's from 4 to 7. But as the town manager explained, it's not a meeting where you can get up when you want to leave.
So we can have the meeting that starts at 6, the workshop, we can have the workshop, and it gives you enough time, Vivian?
Can we
I
sit?
would-
No, go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead, what do you want to
So
say?
do we have to put out mailing? If we got to put out mailing, can we just say the
Not
4th
for
and the
workshop.
5th? And then if we finish on the 4th, cancel the 5th. So we don't have to do it.
No, I think we'll be finished, because he already gave us the items that we'd be discussing, and he's merging the CRA with it.
No,
It's
he's
just a matter-
giving us 3 more items.
No, just two,
Just two.
CRA and the CIP. And the CIP, you guys have already really looked at all the capital within these
Yeah.
budgets. So really, that's just a plan showing what it's going to look like over the next few years.
Let's do it Thursday.
And we're
Let's-
doing that on the night of on the 3rd, correct? The CRA and
We
the...
can, well, no, we were going to then bump it into this if we were going to do it.
Let's do it Thursday.
If we were done with everything tonight, then we were going to put the CRA into the CRA meeting.
But now that we're creating another day, he's
Might
going
as
to
well
merge
just-
that into the workshop. I would say go Thursday at 6.
Okay.
Thursday at 6 to finish off the rest of this that we have in this book right here, and then the 2 items from the CRA. And I think from this part, what we have left, it's not going to be, I don't see it being
6 o'clock on the 3rd, on the 4th.
6 o'clock on the 4th, the day after our commission meeting.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
would you entertain a motion
Can
by
I-
Commissioner Thomas?
Commissioner Thomas, you want to make a motion
okay,
have our
yes.
next workshop?
On our next work, okay. So,
Thank you, sir.
our next workshop will be September the 4th at 6 p.m.
Do we have a second?
Oh, I'll second that, sure.
I don't think we need any other further discussion. I think we're pretty much good with that. All in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Okay, so we will end this at this point. We know what we have for the 4th. We're going to start at 6. So now I'm going to let
you.
the public comment cards progress. And actually, one of the public comment cards, Ms. Katia, she left. She's not coming back, correct?
No,
Okay.
she's gone.
So I will start with you, Ms. LaFontaine.
Thank you. My comments about salaries in the handout that I shared with each of you were mostly addressed, especially when Commissioner Linden requested a current accurate salary comparison, which would make it less alarming when I and my neighbors look at some of the huge percentage jumps in the position salaries. I'm not questioning anyone's performance, but when we look at it and it's like a 25, a 26% raise, it blows your mind. It's like, how can someone get a raise that big? So I hope you will do that salary comparison with places that are similar to us and not way smaller and way huger. And regarding my other comment on the handout that I shared, after Mr. Reed's explanation, I think I understand the difference between last year's budgeted salary versus the year-to-date activity and current salary being the amount used for the merit and COLA increases. I was confused about that, so thank you, Mr. Reed. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Perhacs.
Thank you, commissioners and everybody. I just want you, I'm going to not talk other than to say I've prepared a packet for each of you, and I'm going to continue to discuss that at the next workshop. But I want to say that there's a tremendous disparity between salaries. I agree with Commissioner Linden that certain of the lower employees are underpaid. I think some of the directors are overpaid, and some are vastly underpaid. I think that you have a superb clerk. I've worked with clerks elsewhere. You have a superb finance director, and I want their salaries to be comparable to the top salaries of the other directors. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay. With that, I would say town attorney comments, but looking to my left, we have no town attorney here. So I will turn to my right and say, town manager, do you have any comments? And then I will look at the rest of my commissioners and say, does anybody have any comments, which I'm anticipating not. So with that.
I did have a comment.
Oh, okay. Commissioner
It's
Roy.
just a comment in gratitude to the staff, especially Barbara and everybody that participated in this budget process, especially from up here. It's a very difficult process. There's a lot of information that we have to deal with, and we appreciate the work that you do. And I appreciate the work of my fellow commissioners also. And thank you, and let's grind on, okay?
And I echo those same sentiments to staff, as well as my own council, as well as you, town manager. And with that, I will entertain a motion of adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Good night, everybody.